saying?
What does ASMR do for you?
Okay, so I used to think like ASMR, you know, like the lip popping and the whispers and shit. I was like, nah, it just wasn't for me. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I feel like you have to find someone good at it.
Right.
And you can literally like, I can feel my brain like tingle. It's the oddest thing, but it's like, do you ever listen to ASMR?
I do listen to ASMR. And
Ryan?
then I'm like,
Absolutely not.
this is weird.
Are you like me? Like before I was like, this does nothing for me. Like this is weird. Or like, I don't like this at all.
It's not even that it doesn't do anything for me. It's more so that what's it called? There's a term for it, but like hearing like mouth sounds.
Yeah. Like it's just like makes you sick.
It like goes into my spine. Like
Right,
it's horrible.
I used to annoy him for fun, just to spite him. Like I would chew loud or like smack my lips or lick my lips on the mic.
Like-
and he's like, please stop.
It's like it's funny to you, but it's like a legitimate. It's like a legitimate thing.
No, I
where
get
it
it,
like fucks with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever want to annoy him at the box, just walk up right
It's not even.
behind
It's not even like funny because it like that's. I'm a pretty chill person,
him. Yeah.
and
That just like,
it's that's like the one thing that is like that trigger where I'm like,
I
I'm
hate
like you really need to not do that
Immediately
around me.
hates you. That and if you wake him up from a nap.
I have a couple of those. Like, okay, I know it's like not, you know, advantageous. Oh my God, what was that? Okay. Not advantageous. That's not what I mean.
That's not how we went.
That's not it. I know it's kind of contradicting, I guess I would say, is I hate the feeling of like gym chalk on clothes or cotton. It's so disgusting to me. Like it's that like I hate how it feels.
Like dry? Like that
Yeah,
weird dry.
it's like cotton and then like full
Yeah.
chalk. Like you'll see me like use the restroom and I'm literally just washing my hands in between lifts because I hate it so much. Like my clothes are just clean. Like I'm walking around like a fucking surgeon with like fresh gloves. I'm like I can't stand
just
it.
walks out of the bathroom, hands up. Don't touch
me. I'm sterile.
I can't. Ever since I was a gymnast, I was like,
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so, and we were like covered in it, like our legs and from the uneven bars and stuff, and like you would have to put like sweatpants on to go home, and I was like just gagging, and I don't know, it never went away, and like ugh.
What chalk hurt you when you were in gymnastics when you were younger?
I think just gymnastics hurt me.
Just in general. Yeah, it seems to be a through
just
line.
The sport.
That seems to be common across
Beat
the
me
board.
down.
Well, as an aside, Sam is joining us for Le Podcast.
Yeah.
Sam is
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Sam is a coach at the gym that we all work at. I guess obviously. She's a weightlifter extraordinaire, and
As you just heard,
That's
a
so
gymnast.
kind.
and was a gymnast.
Yeah, which everyone is like, oh, so like you definitely know how to do muscle up. I'm like, it's been like 15 fucking years. Like, in what world do you think I do like a ring muscle up? Like they're like, oh, you were a gymnast, you can do like ring muscle ups.
But you mean
I'm like, no, that would be men's gymnastics, but like,
Also,
no.
isn't it a front uprise technically?
I don't.
Isn't
That's like a men's gymnastics thing. Like we have no clue what that is. You know, like that's
That's
like
what we
just a
learned.
men's term. So like people always assume like, oh, like she can definitely do muscle ups, and I'm over here struggling to do like.
Also, didn't we
strict
learn
pull-ups.
like a kip is also a bar muscle up?
No. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, a glide kip.
Glide kip. Yeah.
Because we can do like glide kip muscle ups, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I always thought there was another gymnast that I used to work with that was like, I think they said it's called a front uprise. Would be like the term for the gymnastics term for a muscle up.
I feel like
ring muscle up
front
specifically.
uprise would be, I think it's with straight arms. If I'm not, because like, can you imagine doing a muscle up with straight arms?
I could barely do a muscle up with bent arms.
Just those chicken wings over the bar.
I know one. There's a girl that we used to work with, Madison, over at another gym. Who that's like she had like a really successful gymnastics career, and that's like what she does. And I think she got docked at a competition because they were like, you have to like show that you go through, because like in CrossFit the rule is like you have to show through the dip and then the press. Yeah, there's crickets or something. And then I could see Eric listening to like the background noise.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. It's the outside.
Got it.
So sorry if you can hear it.
The outside.
Stupid outside.
But yeah, and then like during a competition, she had to like actively like catch with a bent arm so she can press out.
What's her name?
Madison.
Yeah, so she's the reason why people ask me that I can just like, oh, like just assume that I can do muscle ups.
Like,
So,
oh,
like,
you
fuck
can
you,
do muscle
Madison. Just kidding. No.
Show
like
off.
go off queen, but like, oh my god.
Go off queen.
Like for those that like quit when they were like a fucking freshman. in high school, mind you. I don't have a muscle up. Sue me. I just weightlift instead. I just do what I'm good at and then avoid what I'm not.
I could throw a bar up to the rings.
Yeah, but you'll outlift a lot of people. So that's kind of, the dealio.
Tit for tat, really.
Honestly,
Yeah.
It's a give and take.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, just tag me in at a CrossFit comp with like that,
Yeah.
that 3RM.
Yeah. That's all you need.
6 minutes, I'm done.
I could have used you at my my competition that I went to. God, I literally, it was like a complex. It was deadlift, squat clean, and
clean.
What was the other movement? No, it was like a full clean, and then it was overhead squats. That's what it was. Some bullshit. And the weight got like real heavy real fast, and I was like, I haven't been training for this.
You had to go from a hang squat clean to an overhead squat position? Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Yeah. Ooh. And so it was like 155, 185, and then
225. Yeah.
And I was
I think you told me you were only going to do round one.
Well, I did because it was 2 rounds and then you add weight.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll do the first 2 rounds. I'm like, and then I'm going to do the deadlifts and the cleans. And I'm going to stop. And Lady's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm
like, you think I'm built for this?
Yeah. I was like, look, I'm not.
I have everything to lose, lady.
Okay, so,
I have everything to lose.
So like logistically, okay, so from like a hang squat clean or a hang clean, whatever. Oh my god, that's the same thing.
It's
Jesus, I feel like I'm at our gym. You're like, is this a power? Did it say power?
Does it?
It's not a power.
It doesn't say. I can't tell.
Someone the other day was like, I just hate when you guys say squat snatch, and I'm like, okay, but like we have to because otherwise you always ask if it's power.
Because y'all dumb.
Like by default, if it doesn't say power, it's a squat. Okay, anyway, so from a hang clean to an overhead. That seems like really difficult, especially if your overhead, like, because obviously my overhead, that's not my clean grip. So how did you have to like?
I snatched it.
Okay, so.
So you were allowed to put it back down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
because
fair.
I was thinking, okay, I was like, how the hell do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking
he went
deadlift,
1, 2.
right? Deadlift down, immediately squat clean, and then okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. Got it.
I misused the word. I said complex. I see where that goes.
Oh, yeah.
That was my bad.
Got it.
Yeah, no. Think of it like DT. So it was just like it was.
You just had to do a lift, how to do a lift, and how to do a lift.
Yeah, it was just get it done.
Got it.
Yeah, and so I was like, because I saw everyone like rack it and then throw it up over their head, and I'm like, can I snatch this? And the lady's like, sure. I'm like, cool. So I just snatched it and went to my overhead squats.
Don't mind me. Mm-hmm. Okay, that clears it up. Thank you.
Yep,
I was panicking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, so long story. I did the first 2 rounds, and then I did the
deadlifts and
the deadlifts and the cleans, and I was like, all right, I'm done, and just walked off. It was great. I helped the lady clean up, and I was like, cool, thanks.
Just give me that score.
Yeah, and I like signed off the paper, and like it was funny because there's like all these dudes still like in the middle of the workout.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, deuces, bye.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, I was like, good luck.
I really like commend you for knowing your limits and not letting your ego kind of get away with it. I truly,
Well, 1, thank you. 2, I learned the hard way because my arm fell off in the middle of a competition. So I'm not willing to risk that anymore.
Yeah, I was like, you do risk like obviously injury, but I know it's hard to put your ego aside and be like, oh, I could just, I can keep up. And you're like, is it worth my body? No. But that's like just a maturity thing, I think, at this point. Yes.
It's an interesting risk and reward. I was trying to talk to somebody about that because, so you're spot on. Like a couple years ago, I was in a competition, overhead squats, and I dislocated my shoulder, tore my labrum, all this fun jazz, like surgery, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Everyone's heard this stuff already before. And that was like an interesting turning point because, like, honestly, it took the wind out of my sails when it comes to competition. So, like, I've definitely not been like the same, like, headed competitively ever since then. And honestly, I don't care to. Like, I'm okay with it. But anyway, point is, so like that was a real slap in the face of like risk reward when it comes to like competitions, of realizing that I'm not a professional. I pay to be a part of this.
Right.
Yeah. And
this is not my job.
Yeah, it's not. My job is not this. Right, you're 100%. Like this is the fun stuff. This is the thing that keeps me relatively in shape. And so. I'm like, the risk reward became really prevalent. And so I was like, you know what, when it comes to like the open stuff like that, I'm like, I'm willing to stop because I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. So like one of the workouts at that competition was like push-ups, squats, and like rowing, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah. On the wood floor.
Yeah. Which was a nightmare in its own right. But like that was when I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking sell out right now. So like gunned it on the row, which one guy beat me, and I was like, I do not understand how you beat me on rowing. I'm way faster. Whatever. But I was like, but anyway, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go balls to the wall. Like, let's figure it out. Because I was like, I'm not gonna get hurt doing a push up or air squat. Like, it's fine.
Right.
Or rowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that barbell one, I was like, I don't know about this one.
Let me save it.
But the best part. Sorry, I know you're gonna say something, but the best part was like when I was like walking away, because you would see like there was a huge crowd, and there's all these people were like looking at me as I was like walking by, and Merce, my girlfriend, was walking, and she was like, everyone's like they're like watching you walk away. And I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, like walking away from the complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like after I like did it, I signed off. Like there's like people still on the floor doing their shit, and I'm like,
I'm not going to the games.
yeah, I just like walked away and left.
And I'm definitely not going to the hospital.
So,
yeah.
Who's laughing now, bitch? All right.
Yeah, but anyway, but it's like a brief story as to like where that mindset came from.
I feel like we all have to learn that though, like setting your ego aside, and it's really hard to do. Like,
totally.
With CrossFit, like, I don't know. I think before weightlifting or even during weightlifting, it was like I had something to prove that I was the best. And I'm like, people know you can lift heavy as shit. Like, why are you like having to prove it? Like, you don't need to RX everything and then be just so sore the next day that you can't even do a lift. It's just like, there's nothing to prove, but I feel like you have to, have a conversation with yourself first before, you can set your ego aside. I think we all learn differently. Like, I'm glad I never learned from an injury, but
me too. It's not fun.
I mean, like, honestly, knock on wood, I've never actually been injured doing gymnastics or weightlifting.
That was going to be my question to you, because I know
not once.
I learned how he did it, and I learned how I did it.
How did you do it?
I dislocated my shoulder too, snatching.
What did you do it on?
Overhead squat.
Damn, it always is, huh? Snatch always takes you out, am I right?
Specifically a narrow grip overhead squat.
Ooh.
It was like a clean grip.
Snatch is that on purpose?
The bane of my existence.
Oh, shit.
I did it on purpose for sake of speed.
Dude, everyone in our box does not like snatches.
I like snatches.
Same.
Okay, I think you only like snatches if you know how.
Yes.
And that's like kind of the shitty part is like anytime we have someone new come into the gym, I'm always like, and I swear to God, I feel like they always come in on a goddamn snatch day and they've never once stepped into a CrossFit gym or functional fitness. And I'm like, son of a bitch, they're never going to come back. So I'm always like, the snatch, I think, is the worst and the hardest technical lift to learn. The learning curve is so steep. But like once you get over it, like that learning curve, it's like that's all you ever want to do.
Yeah.
Is snatching, because you're kind of like in this like elite club, that like how. But it's just funny, like every time there's like a heavy snatch day at the gym, like crickets, like no one signs up, and they're just like, we just don't like snatching, like we don't know how. And I'm like, okay, well, avoiding it isn't gonna help.
Yeah, that's
so
not gonna help you, yeah.
Like you need to be at the gym, like PVC pipe until you pass out, if that's the case. But like, snatches, like I feel like once it clicks, it's the best lift ever.
Yeah.
Especially
like when you even if you're not like great at it, but you like can feel
the movement,
like the movement, and you're just like it like leaves the hip and you can like catch it overhead.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a bar, and you're just like,
there's something really sexy about catching a snatch and like knowing it was solid.
It just feels good,
and you're like,
just everything clicks.
There's something unnaturally natural about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to describe it any way other than that.
Yeah. When you hit it and it feels good,
like you just know.
You know.
It's one of those like,
my
if you
God.
know, you know. There's a lot of sexual undertones as well.
I didn't know this was a late night podcast. So sorry.
Well, you listen to the Aaron episode, which is probably not the best one to like get a firm understanding of what usually happens here.
That was like a 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh.
Was it?
No, I mean the class. That episode was like a 2 PM, like
after school special.
After school class.
Cute.
It's where you kind of learning stuff, but not.
Yeah, it's like the teenagers are watching, but like not the adults.
Right.
Yeah. It's like adult cartoon, but like not Adult Swim.
So like I was like, is this the Adult Swim? Oh, okay. I got it.
Aaron's wasn't.
No, Aaron's
generally it is.
Yeah, Aaron's was like the Flintstones.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, it was like the Jetsons.
It's the same thing. What are you talking about? One's in the future and one's in the past.
Did you hear the theory that they're in the same time frame?
Yeah, that the Jetsons is actually like a post-apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm. Did you send that to me?
No.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
The better one is that Aladdin actually takes place in a post-apocalyptic future. The animated Aladdin, because the genie is making pop culture references in a era of like Arabian Night type of thing, where that wouldn't have technically existed. So
that's a little like too deep. You know what I mean? It's like you're reading too. Not that you. I mean, unless you made up this little theory.
I definitely didn't make it up.
I just feel like people that make up these like theories with like Disney, I'm like, I don't think it's that deep. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Don't quit your day job. You know what I mean?
It could be, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's definitely
like,
not.
The genie thing is obviously because it came out in the 90s and
it's like a 90-10.
Relevant. Well, like the genie, the Aladdin one it's because all those were like current modern pop culture references.
Right, and it was like Robin Williams.
It was Robin Williams.
Comedic,
Yeah.
like,
so obviously you're going to have him do
was
voices and all that other shit. So it's definitely Disney wasn't like, yeah, this is 3,000 years into the future when civilization collapsed
like,
and we're re-going through time. Back to Saudi princes and shit.
It's not, but it could have been.
It could have been. But
do you believe in like conspiracies?
It depends.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god.
Like, what's a conspiracy? Oh my god, Jimmy.
This is the wrong episode to be talking about this, but
hate us.
That's fine. We could do it again.
Okay, what's a conspiracy?
Honestly, I feel like that it changes. The definition changes for who you talk to. I don't know.
So
true.
What is it?
Okay, what like when I think of conspiracy, like what do I think about? JFK.
Okay.
Always. I don't know. It's just like the first thing that
Two
I think
shooters.
about.
What like
Magic Bullet?
Yeah. What's the conspiracy?
See, like I don't know. I
Grassy
feel
Knoll
like
Future Lady.
I don't delve.
Isn't cell phone guy in there too?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't delve deep into conspiracies. I don't know. It's not my jam.
Okay,
like
fair.
anytime like a podcast, like I listened to Last Podcast on the Left. Have you listened to it? It's fantastic. Would recommend. They have like when they go to like conspiracy section, I'm like, I'm out. Like it just doesn't interest me. And then some people get a little wacky with it. But I mean,
I think they're
depends.
fun.
It can be fun, but I feel like it gets too far when it's like becomes like serious in your life, and it's like, oh, all right, let's bring it back a little bit.
That's fair.
You know,
I think like so. Usually, when I think of like a conspiracy, I think of a conspiracy as like the conspiracy theories are like these shadowy, not literally, but like these like secretive like figures that are like puppeteering and pulling the strings, like making these like outlandish things in society or like the world happen through like some weird global
Illuminati,
like conglomerate, right? Like that's usually what I think of. And so that's like JFK assassination. It's like the government was trying to kill JFK for a bunch of reasons. So there's like all these people were in cahoots and they had these fall guys, but then like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Right. And then Lee Harvey Oswald was like getting too close and popular. So like then was it Jack Kirby kills him. And so like that was the way to get it out. Jack Ruby. That's right.
I don't know who killed him.
It was Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby? Jack Ruby. That sounds right. Like kills
I
him
hope to
because
God I'm a history teacher. Holy shit.
like right, does that
Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black kills him in the
Yeah,
past.
see, like it's just it gets to this like Charlie Day meme from Horrible Bosses.
Oh,
pretty much.
It just gets too much. You know, and like so I'm honestly a firm believer in most of the time the most simple, you know,
Occam's razor.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I know it has a term, but like the most simple explanations are usually the right ones or like the correct ones. But I don't know. The older I get, I'm like, did the U.S. government introduce drugs like cocaine? Like,
Oh yes.
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean? Like it's true,
that
right?
one I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So like
Whether that's conspiracy theory or
Well, because you know
have
it started as a
hidden
conspiracy
facts
theory, and like
yes.
you know, I give them some
LSD
leeway.
for sure.
MK Ultra.
MK
Yeah,
Ultra.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of truth behind like and this is the crazy thing is like there historically governments or just people like very powerful people have done some like super shady shit. And there's no denying that like it exists, it happens. Still. But and so like it's weird because you run into these like conspiracies where you go, okay, you know that like the US government at some point in time like secretively like try to manipulate the population with like right MK Ultra is like drug stuff. You also have like subliminal messages in movie theaters, like mind control practices. Like these are all things that actually happened.
Right.
So you're like, man, that like we know that this exists now. And so then you go back. The hard part is like you go back, you look at the past through the lens of the current, and you start finding things that don't really exist. And but they seem in reality. Like, is there a real chance that there was like some people against JFK that like wanted him gone for whatever type of reason? Maybe. Right.
There's a chance. I have a hard time. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a really hard moment for me. And this is so weird, but like, there was somebody that worked in like,
spoilers deep ahead, government. By the way.
Not too much though. Someone who works in like deep government in real life was like, they're not too far off of like the shit that goes on. And it was really hard for me to be like, it's really hard to wrap my mind around how people could actually be that way. Like, it's really difficult for me to believe and like come to terms with that people can be evil. Like, mm-hmm. I don't know. It was just like, I couldn't grasp that like these kinds of things are manipulated on purpose. And that's super naive, but I don't know. That was really hard to kind of come to terms with. Like, not everyone, is going to have anyone's best interest, especially when power is introduced. But I was like, damn, like throwing people in front of a train or like, I don't know. It's wild. I'm sad now. I'm like, oh shit, I'm super depressed.
Well, there's interesting. It's interesting about like psychology, right? A lot of this stuff, like some of this boils down to psychology. Where are there like generally evil people, like legitimately just like chaos for chaos sake type of people? Sure, they exist. But usually it's like subtler than that, and it's not like inherent. It's like when we talk about like like unconscious bias, right?
Yeah. It's implicit.
Yeah. It's like, it's usually stuff like that where it's like these tiny things that like are just justifiable enough that like cascade or like snowball into like something bigger. And usually it becomes like an out of hand type of thing.
It starts really small. Yeah.
And so like one of the common things, right, talking about history, might as well, is right, you talk about like saying like Nazi Germany. It always comes back to this. And you go, well, how did an entire population of people be like, yes, these groups of people are kind of ruining the rest of the world. We should probably do something about it. Or like the people in the camps and stuff like that. And I can't explain all of this, but it ends up being it's like little bits of things over like little messages or conversations or stuff like over time eventually like snowballed its way into people being able to like justify doing stuff, as well as you have like hive mind happens in like large groups where you just kind of don't think, you just act. And so I feel like when we start talking about like weird shit, like deep state type of stuff, like I feel like that's where it is.
Yeah, that's
like it exists like that
in real life. Like, it's not too far off of like what could be the reality. Like, I think the hardest part, obviously I'm a teacher, I do teach middle school, so it's gonna be prevalent in a minute. It's really hard to get middle school kids. One, if I ever get the question, when do we need to learn this, I will set myself on fire. Like, I'm over it. But it's getting the kids to realize that, history's repetitive, right? It has patterns. But it's really hard to get these middle school kids to really like wrap their mind that it is repetitive. But if I could help them, realize like when things start to go awry, or like when things don't feel right, or, this is how this person got into power and these are the steps, like this is what they exhibited, that perhaps they could be a little bit, more educated and, could kind of raise some flags that may have not been raised before. So, whether that's going to stick in their brains, especially in May, God knows, but it's worth a shot.
What grade do you teach?
8th.
Okay. So they're like old enough that they can kind of start to comprehend a little bit.
I just hope they do, even, and
you're being so gentle with how you're saying no.
We're in the middle of watching, have you guys seen 13th, the documentary?
Yes.
13th.
Okay.
I don't think so.
This is my first year showing it.
It's about the 13th Amendment, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And how like from, after slavery, the 13th Amendment says like, no one can be in servitude except for prisoners, I'm trying to connect after Civil War, like the Reconstruction, to today's incarceration. And I'm like, this might be, if I'm not going to do that next year. I see their minds going, what is going on? But if I could just introduce it and be like, there's a different way to think about why things are the way they are. Mm-hmm. It's not everything is naturally happening. You know, things can be manipulated. And I think I have a duty as well, because most of my kids are minorities and I'm white. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
But, you know, so I just feel like they need to know. So, yeah, but like the history repeating itself, I'm telling them it's not a repeat, but it's a rhyme. You know, it's not always going to be the same, but it will have kind of like, I don't know.
Not the same, but similar.
Well, it's lessons.
Yeah.
Like you're learning, we look back in history through the lens of trying to learn like whether it was good or bad, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And right. So like, how did these, you're saying like people come into power? Like, how do these people come into power? Because it's not as simple as like just being generic here, but like a vote. There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Like there's more to like the grassroots. There's more to the organizations behind it. There's more to like, how did people become like talk to other people and blah, blah, blah. Like, and there's the general shift in mindset across a state, country, school, like the world, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, but like, it's also weird too, because at what, are they too young to comprehend that, or are they too young to grasp this? Like, that's a large concept.
Yeah. And like during 13th, I was just sitting there like, fuck. I was like,
how do I dig out of this?
Like this may be, and I told them, I was like, this might be a little high, like for you guys. But if I could just introduce the concept, even if you can't fully grasp it right now, you know, that's enough for me. Like, I know that, like, I'm not going to test them after that. Oh my God. But, Jesus. But that's enough for me, I think, at this point.
Just like introduce it and let it kind of like,
right. And
sit
just let them know that, like, you know, this is how things are connected. This is why we need to learn about history, because, you know, these things that we've done in the past really do affect how we move in the future. It really does. Just to make sure they get context.
Like, okay, so because you teach history, so I'm assuming where do you start your like historically? Where do you start?
Like, where's my content?
No,
Columbus.
You start from Columbus and then just move your way forward.
Columbus, and this is the farthest I've ever gotten. Actually, we're gonna go to the Gilded Age.
Whoa, watch out.
I know she's
just moving.
She's quick this year. Never gotten this far, so I'm over here taking notes, making those little PowerPoints for the first time.
Crispy PowerPoints.
Crisp. And when I say crisp and interactive, I fucking mean it. But yeah, we go all the way to like the Gilded Age and like Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, you know.
Okay. So, cause like in order to go through, like, I feel like to talk about 13th, you have to be able to comprehend nuance. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm curious of like, okay, if you're starting off in like Columbus, like, is that a point where you can like start to introduce like concepts of like the nuance of like there's good and bad kind of happen at the same time, and it's not all one way.
Well, and I think that's kind of, you know, being a teacher right now is interesting.
Easy,
especially with, you know, CRT floating around.
Oh, wait, we never thanked our hero, Sam. You're a hero. I don't know if you know
God.
that.
Oh, yeah.
You and our healthcare workers.
And I swear to God, if I get another starburst and then a little picture attached that's like, you're a star, I can't do it anymore. Pay me more.
How patronizing was that?
I have pictures of every day that we came in for Teacher Appreciation Week. And look, it's cute. I love it. And I know that my school does not, you know, control my salary. I understand that. But
that pause said so much more than you think.
Let me find the picture. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, what is with the teaching profession and giving us like pun candy?
What?
Like candies with puns.
Oh,
stop it.
Because it's educational. It's kind of like
stop.
It's smart humor.
You know what? Can you prep sub one class period so I can cry gently in the bathroom? Could you maybe take that difficult student that's a pain in my ass and just take them just literally for one day? You can keep your starburst. You can keep your You're smart cookie. You're a smart cookie. You know, we owe you one. And then there's a cookie from Subway.
Wow, it's a Subway cookie.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that makes it better, to be honest.
No,
I
it's
don't
probably
know.
worse.
Whoa.
I don't know.
They're pretty good cookies.
If they're freshly baked.
I mean, there never are.
Listen,
but
our school district, you know what I mean? Like, we're not getting crumble. Okay. I know my worth. Well, I know my perceived worth here. So yeah, I do have pictures of, because my whole entire family are also teachers.
Of course.
Yeah, we do. We come from a very
a long line of educators.
God, I hope you don't feel like I was patronizing you when I sent you the Happy Teachers Appreciation Week.
No, not at all.
Okay, thank God.
One of our friends from the gym is a nurse, and I was like, "Happy Nurses Week, you bitch." Nurses and teachers, man, I feel like we're just in the same. Oh God, here they are. Okay. Thanks for being dependable, and I got a pen.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I got a pen
That's amazing.
with the school on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're like,
Of course.
cool. Can't wait to use this.
I got. Oh God. I can't. Okay. Not all superheroes wear capes. Thanks for saving the day, and I got lifesavers.
wow.
Like, it's like kind of cute. I know. I'm assuming it's like I have to assume it's well intentioned.
It always is, and I appreciate it because it's like, you know, it's staff that are so busy and they're administrators that are so busy and they're just doing this one little thing, and I do appreciate it.
Oh wait, that's from the school?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking this was from like the kids or
No,
students or
it's
parents. Oh, that's even fucking worse.
I don't think I got one kid saying Happy Teacher Appreciation Week.
That's fair.
Love it. Shout out. I love my job. I do. No, I do though, but Jesus Christ.
Look, you can have humor about being like, hey, here's some shitty parts about the thing that I really enjoy.
But there's
Are we getting static?
Okay, so that's what I heard the first time.
I heard crickets
My
as well,
ears-
and I was like, that's not a good sign.
So I was like, what is that noise? I heard it in my
I don't hear
left
it
ear
anymore.
this time.
No, it's still there. What is happening? Is it one of our phones? Getting like weird interference? Is it the CIA trying to come at us and shut us down with EMPs and shit?
Honestly, I would be honored that
they
I'm
were listening
interesting
into
enough, you know?
Yeah. It's probably Ryan and his YouTube algorithm.
Oh my God,
actually,
what are you looking up?
I'm not looking up
That's how
anything.
I feel though, honestly. Like my school computer has like KKK all over it because we're learning about Reconstruction. And I'm like, God, I hate this so much. Like I hate having to research KKK and what frickin' robes they wear because my kids want to know.
What did I? Oh, okay. So
They like lost their shit when they heard that they're called Grand Dragons and Grand Wizards.
Eric made some reference to being like something about one of us being like a grand wizard. And I was like, that's not what you think it is.
No, be quiet. No, there was this lady back at home where I lived in Nevada, and she called me, and she was so sweet, and I don't think she knew what it meant, but she started calling me Sambo. And I was like, you can't, you can't call me that.
You can't say that.
I'm like, she's like, why? And I'm like, I was like, you can't call me that. Like, please don't say that. And
do you want to tell Eric what a Sambo is? Because I'm assuming you don't know.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Exactly. No, this is you. This is your story to tell.
I mean, to me, like Sambo is like, in what I know from this is like it's a fictionalized character to depict black people.
It's like minstrel show type of.
Yeah, it's like blackface kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, stop calling me that.
Yeah, no, that'd be terrible.
No one in my hometown would have known. Trust me. No, no one would have known.
It
But
seems
I
like a
knew.
fairly innocuous comment.
Well, back to like I was gonna say before.
Yeah, back to the KKK.
CIA.
Go on.
Right, yeah.
I fucking hate it here. There was something on Reddit which
Oh, the cesspool.
I love Reddit. I'm sorry. I'm very into the anti-work Reddit thread. But there was one that said, you know, if your profession needs an appreciation week, you're not paid enough.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm like, God, like truer words have not been spoken, you know.
Well, and when I was asking you about like how patronizing is it, and it's not like, because it's not just the financial aspects,
Right.
It's like it's how much support you guys get. It's how much work you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel like people really realize how much behind the scenes stuff goes in. Like it's not a 9 to 5.
So if I was to stick to my contracted hours, right? Nothing would be prepared. None of those sexy little PowerPoints.
Crisp.
They're not actually sexy. I just want to say, like in a classroom setting, I just think they're crisp. Thank you.
That's fine.
if I worked my contracted hours, I would not have any lessons prepared. I would not have any games for them to play to, you know, get the content or to socialize or have social emotional learning. I would not grade a thing. I couldn't grade.
No, there'd be no way.
How? Like literally my kids would sit down and do worksheets.
Yeah.
That's what would happen if I worked my contracted hours.
Of course.
And, you know, at this point it's like it comes with the job, but it's also like, does it have to? You know, does it have to? And I think really the most patronizing thing I think about being a teacher for me is that we're never treated like professionals. Like, I went to school for this. Like, I got a master's degree in this, and I still have parents coming to me and being like, well, he said he turned it in. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm the liar. You're right.
Yes.
My bad. Right. You know, and like admin is almost always taking the parent's side. And it's like, you know, it's like you wouldn't go to a doctor and claim to know more.
Right.
Because they're the professional.
I mean, I
don't know if you know what happened the last 2 years, but a lot of armchair doctors started to pop up.
I'm talking like professional, you know, certified, board certified, if you will. But it's like you wouldn't ask them, you know, or tell them how a surgery is performed or what they need to do. So like if they're treated like professionals and you trust them, then the same needs to be said for us. You know, and I love when like they take their 6th grade kid. He's like, well, he said he turned in those assignments. Okay. You're right.
Sorry, little Timmy. Little Timmy got it right.
You know,
this
like,
time.
I just lost his
kid,
entire homework packet.
Right,
I apologize.
Your kid could be lying. Just throwing it out there. It is an option.
Just a spitball. Just thinking of ideas.
I think that's what's most patronizing, in my opinion. Every teacher is different, but I'm like, I'm on my own, and I'm okay with it because, you know, that's who I am, and I thrive with that. I'd rather like people leave me alone and let me do my job. But yeah, with those that need a little bit more support, because kids can be difficult.
Can they? Really?
I mean, I've heard.
Allegedly. Not yours, though. Angels.
Actually, this year they have been phenomenal, and I have felt really bad telling people that because everyone else is having such a shitty year.
My kids are the best.
I know, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh, that's tough.
And
they're like
waiting, nerd.
They're waiting for me to share my experiences. I'm like, that's tough, and then just continue on. I just like can't relate.
Yeah.
You know,
you're like, I'm not jinxing this shit.
They'll be like, oh, like so and so is just such a dick in my class. Yeah, we do talk about our kids like that sometimes, but
it happens.
I mean, yeah. And I'm just like, are you sure you're talking about this kid? Like, we compare like last names and legit like student IDs because I'm like, I refuse to believe that this kid is acting like that in your classroom and is not with mine. You know, so toot toot. You know what I mean?
Hoot hoot. I'd pat you on the back, but your hand's in the way, Sam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, fuck, what was I going to say?
What about a kid?
Oh, we need to get over this fact.
Uh-oh.
That your kids are probably assholes.
Oh, yes.
And that other people can recognize that your kid's a piece of shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to like stop being like, how can you talk about a kid, like a little kid like
it's
that?
It's easy.
Like, because your kid's a piece of shit.
It's because it's real easy.
They suck.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. What do you want?
Kids are the worst.
Like these parents, but like some of these, I know some parents who are just like, my kid's an angel. I will never say anything negative towards them. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. That's why your kid's not an angel.
Like, that's why your kid, like everybody hates being around your kid.
Yeah.
Always.
And like, I had my first year of teaching. I was like, I didn't know if I was okay. Like that, it was awful. One, they stuck every fucking bad behavior kid in a new teacher's class.
Let's go.
And I was like, so you're trying to have me drop out of teaching. Love that for me. There was this one kid, and you know, I am convinced is a sociopath. Like, and I'm not joking. Like, oh yeah, he's like such a sociopath. Like, no, like he exhibits like signs.
Is he bringing in like dead birds that he's like snapped their neck? He's like, look at this bird that I found.
I mean, at least that sounds like a nice tone. I would appreciate if he brought me a dead bird with that tone. That would have been gentle, and I would have loved that. That would have been lovely. But
what he really did was come in. Look at this dead bird.
He was
snapped over his knee.
It was like no punishment, nothing. It just hit him like bounced off of him, and he was just devoid of emotion.
Damn.
And but like I got the last laugh because I did my final master's paper on
him?
like the dark triad or whatever it's called, like Machiavellianism, like
narcissism and psychopathy.
Yep. Yeah. Last laugh. And it was a great paper.
That's
Loved
awesome.
it. I shared it with everybody. Fuck him, honestly. Like I think he's going to be a senior next year. Fuck you.
Okay, so did he do the thing? So I've seen this in a couple, maybe like one person, where I was like, you might actually be a sociopath. Where they like they're clearly trying to mimic the emotion of like the room, right? Trying to like mimic what's happening in the room, but because they like don't actually feel it, it's like super weird. Did that kid do that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
He was very like. Yeah, I think he did that, and he was like a very manipulative. Like it was a very manipulative, and because he was kind of younger, I was like, so I see right through that shit,
yeah.
You know. But the kids,
of course,
like it was like they were under hypnosis. It was like
he was a cool kid.
Was he?
Or was he? Or
it's
was he?
Hard. It's hard being an adult and being like, you're such a bitch. Like I'm sorry, and I don't say that. I fucking hate that kid.
Look,
he was like selling like candy and like selling like fruit juice. Like,
let's go. He's an entrepreneur.
Like Hercules.
Yeah.
You know the scene in Hercules where he's like,
you mean Huncules?
Oh God,
sorry.
Want to buy a sundial with a little? Like,
and he just
he opens his coat.
Flash, yeah.
That was that kid.
Yes.
Yeah. And he just.
Want to buy a lollipop?
He's got the entrepreneurial spirit. You're just trying to bring him down. How dare you?
You know what? But honestly, he is going to get caught, right? But like doing dumb shit, like embezzling, like an insufficient number. Like it's not even going to be impressive.
He's smart enough to be manipulative, but dumb enough to get caught.
Pull it off. Yeah, he's a moron.
Yeah.
Love it. God, I hope you turn off the comments for this podcast because like
there's no one comments.
Yeah,
anyway.
no one really comments.
There are no like real comment section anyway, so it's fine.
Love it.
We'll get text instead.
Yeah, some people will text us and be like, "Yo,
let me know what school she's at. I don't want to send my kids."
Yeah,
yeah. Don't send your shitty kids to my class. How about that? Let's all just sign a pact.
Yeah,
we agree here.
Just send shitty kids to a shitty school.
I think that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Oh,
so okay,
what about military school? Send shitty kids to military school.
Does that still exist?
But then like ROTC, and then they're gonna get a gun, like when they're and they're gonna be in the army, and now they're armed. Like, do we want that?
Well,
what else do we give?
Well, usually they
to do?
Social emotional learning.
Send them to the
therapy,
the prison industrial complex.
Send them.
Haven't you ever watched 13th?
I was like, wow, what a circle that was. I love that. Good for you.
Full circle here, always.
All right, I feel like there's a next topic coming.
Is there?
I don't know. You turned like it was like a new.
Oh no. There is like
there's no
generally
when
there's
you
very
when
no
you asked
format.
for a guide to today's adventure.
I was fucking with you.
Well, no, yeah, absolutely, but
Okay.
we don't have a guide ever.
It's usually like a loose topic idea, and then it's just like stream of consciousness flowing. And then
I
go
think
from there.
our main topic idea was peeing.
Yes, yeah,
Peeing on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where we're going to?
On purpose.
Yeah, I think so.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Marking your territory.
Marking your territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan peed on the platform
Did you really?
on purpose. Oh my
Oh, there
God!
it
What
is.
are you
There it
doing?
is.
Oh yeah. So what? Okay. So we had a text going, and I was like, "What are we talking about today?" And it was like peeing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So why are we bringing this up?
Because I feel like it's not talked about enough with women in weightlifting.
And what is it that you are?
So, you've heard of people like women peeing on the platform, right? Or peeing when
Yeah.
they lift?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So here another quick side. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please.
Ultimately, this is a health fitness, generally speaking, based podcast. So that's kind of like within the guise of what we generally talk about. Not necessarily peeing particularly, but
But that is a facet.
but it can be a facet of this.
Yeah,
So that in mind,
join the ranks.
But that in mind, like fitness, right?
Yeah.
We're all coaches here.
It
so,
happens.
But continue. I just wanted to let you know that.
So I don't know. I just, as a weightlifter, it's not a fun topic, but I think it's something that must be that should be talked about is women, when they get to a certain weight, and it's only some, it's really like a very little population will pee, like when they're on their way up from a squat or deadlifting or whatever the case is. I don't know. It sucks. There.
Yeah.
End of conversation.
Okay, so it's funny that you're bringing this up because I think when we initially talked about it, or when you came to me or approached me with that, the day before, I was in a group thread and people were like, "Oh, I didn't know girls peed." And I was like, "How do you not know this?"
We exist in a special world.
I guess.
We as in like we train at a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
You train weightlifting. Like that's where else are you like what?
I'm in a group with CrossFitters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
men. But are they a bunch of dudes?
It's like 4 dudes, 4 chicks.
Did the girls not know this?
No, the girls knew it.
Obviously.
But the dudes were like, "Oh, I didn't know this happened." And it was just like,
well, for an obvious reason, kind of like how Sam's kind of presenting this is like no one talks about that.
No. And like when it first started happening, like I noticed it was around like 85 keys or so when I would clean, and I was like, oh my God, and like I would go pee and then come back and do it again. Like, and I was like, there's no way. Like I forced that bitch out.
yeah.
Right.
You're like, I'm on empty.
Right. And I was like, how? Like my body feels like it's betraying me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just, for a while I hid it, and then after a while I was like, obviously when you like pee, like there's nothing you can do about it, especially when you're wearing fucking sage green Lululemon leggings, which if you haven't noticed, Eric has never seen me in those because I've retired those leggings. It does me no good.
They are loungewear only, exclusively.
Because I feel like at this point, the weights that I'm lifting have gotten so heavy that the chances of me peeing is pretty high. So I don't know. After a while, it was like, I found like humor in it, and like I would tell people like, oh my God, I peed, you know what I mean? And it honestly was just trying to take the sting out of it because it's so embarrassing and it's so unnatural. Like obviously peeing your pants is like, what the hell's going on? It's like, this isn't right. But I remember Hunter Elam like literally peed on the national or international stage. Like you could see it. And unfortunately it was a hook grip. Slow-mo.
Oh yes.
So and it's like, son of a
drip
bitch,
by drip,
right? And but I was like, damn, like good, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, a couple months ago, it started to really interfere with my lifts. Like I would be so self-conscious about it that I would drop like a clean. Like I would start trying to get up and I could feel it and I just drop it. And then so I decided to go see a physical therapist for that.
Good.
It wasn't Ryan though, so
it wasn't. I'm not a physical therapist.
True, but
this was
for. You have to say that.
A pelvic floor specialist.
Yes.
Yep.
So basically, like, there's a few women at our gym, and some CrossFitters know this, especially women who have had children, is their pelvic floor is just not, not high and tight like it used to be because they literally birthed a human being.
Yeah, it got all stressed out. Literally.
Miracle. But like me, obviously I've never had children, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like,
it's called urinary stress incontinence.
I was gonna say fat pussy gang.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Represent. Am I right? All right.
Am I right, ladies?
FPG.
She's thick in many ways. All right. Adult Swim.
God.
Welcome.
Ooh, I was not prepared for that. Ooh, boy.
Me neither.
Me neither.
So, I don't know. So she basically, most women who lift heavy, do you guys know about
the Valsalva maneuver?
What the hell is that?
Move on. Go on. I'll explain later.
You know the Kegel muscle, right? Yeah. Okay. So
it's the Kegel is the exercise,
right? So so what's the muscle called?
The muscle?
Yeah.
You're flexing your vagina.
Oh my God, that's just
you're
so technical.
Yeah. Well, look.
No, I love it.
I had this conversation with a client the other day because she was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I started my period. And I was like, don't be coy about it. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
This bitch started her period.
Yeah, and I was like, everybody. Yeah, as the lights went off, I hit the period button.
Oh,
everyone's
my
like,
just tampons start flying out of like a money gun.
Yeah, it's like the people at like the basketball games, like shooting cannons, but it's a giant tampon.
Yeah, or like it's like a Think's period pants.
Yeah. But I was like, look, I'm like, it's a thing that happens. I'm like, I have to, one, thank you for letting me know. Cause I was like, I need to know that stuff.
Yeah.
Like now I'm going to change the way that we train today. Cool.
Right.
Shit happens. Anyway.
So mine is switched. So like usually when, weightlifters squat, and I don't think any woman is like ever paying attention to this, because like when I told some of my other female weightlifters, they're like, oh shit, do I do that? But they squeeze, they squeeze the Kegel on the way up, and it like squeezes it in on the way when you stand up. Mine, when I stand up, is actively pushing out. So it's like it's reversed. It's switched. So it's all about having to retrain it and like flipping it. And it's really difficult and it sucks. And it's not perfect, but I have noticed, recently, when I clean correctly, like with good form, I don't pee.
Hey.
And I'm like, what is with this physical response? Like, why am I getting like a physical response shock collar? Honestly, because also my teeth have been starting to click together when I crash the bar on my shoulders.
That happened yesterday or the day before?
Dude, it's been happening for like a week and a half now. And I'm like, what is going, like anytime I'm off a little bit, my body's like, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean?
You.
It's like, we're going to make you pee and your teeth are going to crack. Like, dude, that's extreme, Just let me bail like a normal person. But I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit nervous that like my weightlifting quote unquote career is going to be over when I have a kid, because I'm already having problems. Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know if I could come back from that. So we'll see. But
so from what I know about this stuff, so it's called a urinary stress incontinence is the term. It's actually very common. I don't know like any stats on this, but my guess is that it's probably more common than we would think as from a guy.
My doctor said it's common, but it's not normal, right? Like you can't ignore it.
So yes. And I'm going to only add on to that by saying normal is not doesn't necessarily inherently mean like a bad or a wrong or anything like that. I don't mean to caveat it, but I kind of have to. And so it's not normal in the sense of like your body shouldn't be doing that. But you're correct, right? So normally what happens is whenever we like catch a heavy lift, we're lifting like heavier loads, like your body generally tenses, and like kind of everything should tense.
Right. Yeah. Like rigid and
And that's everything, right? Like for the most part. So for a guy to get an understanding of kind of what this would mean and like what Sam's talking about is essentially if you've ever farted when you've like deadlifted or squatted, that's kind of essentially the same thing in essence.
That like push.
Yeah, it's that push. So the Valsalva maneuver, which is essentially the breath hold thing that all lifters do, right? You take that big breath, breathe into your belly and hold to create that like internal pressure. So generally what happens with women, from my understanding, is it's essentially that internal pressure is so great that it overcomes essentially the sphincter in the bladder that essentially pushes it out from that regard. And so that's usually a combination of like, so you talk about like pelvic floor, which generally people talk about like Kegels, which is similar, or Kegel, I don't know how to pronounce it. Which would be like if you're trying to stop yourself from peeing. So guys, if you do that, it's the same thing. Or like you're trying to hold in a fart, kind of the same concept. And there's a bunch of other like musculature around it, right? So you also have like lower back muscles that need to like fire rhythmically and all these other things. But that seems to be the reason why that happens. But I was going to note, which you did already, go see a physical therapist. And there's physical therapists,
pelvic floor specialists, 100%.
And there's physical therapists that specifically focus on the pelvic floor, and women, really, realistically. Yeah. This can happen to guys. It's less common, but it can happen. So I've definitely peed a little bit before.
I've done it on like a heavy ass deadlift.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it's
not uncommon.
No.
And sometimes like going to see somebody, it could literally be an internal issue. Like mine was not. And like, yes, if you are going to see a pelvic floor therapist for this specific thing, they will want to and really strongly recommend an internal exam. So, very.
Go see that OBGYN.
Yeah, very gynecology appointment-esque.
Well, it's medical. It's a medical practice. Ultimately.
So just know what, that's basically what you're going to get into. But, you know, because something's wrong, you know, like if that's happening to you, something's off. And she was like, you know, if you feel it when you clean or you squat, you have to stop. She's like, you have to stop that and kind of reconvene, because she's like, would you do that? Would you continue your lift if your back spazzed out? And I was like, no. She's like, you need to treat this as the same thing. It's still your body giving you a signal that something's not right. And then I pee on the platform anyway. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking drop this.
I worked so hard to get this here.
If I don't get this fucking 1RM just, you know, all over. I peed in competition. And if I ever do that again in a comp, fucking knock on wood, because that's next week.
Saturday.
I would have to drop it, because I did try to jerk and I slipped.
Oh shit.
Loved that for me. Jesus. Oh, and like honestly, the most like humiliating thing, and I know it shouldn't be, but you can't help how you feel, is like them bringing cleaning stuff and towels. Oh my God. I don't know. You just want to die. I don't know. It's so frustrating. And you're like, oh, God damn it. But, you know, it's like, it is what it is. But also, it's just, it does throw you off. And it's been really hard. But I am happy to report, yesterday I did do a 95 clean. No peeing.
Let's go.
Did I go to the bathroom in between every single fucking lift?
Absolutely.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and just sat there and went,
just force it. Oh man.
But no, your PT is 100% correct. So, in the sense of like, if you feel like that's happening, in the same vein as like if your back's spasming, like you would stop. Like there's a signal that something's going on, and in the sense that it is not a normal thing. It's common, but it's not normal.
Right. It's like you do need to help your body help you.
And so, yeah, 1,000%. And so a lot of it is like, and this similar stuff that I like, for me, that I kind of like teach is like, there's patterns, like there's firing patterns to things that we do. So in the sense of like, if we were to like, they're hearing all this stuff before, but I don't think we've ever actually talked about what I do. But for example, like when we talk about like picking something up with like holding something in your hands, like realistically, there's like these like millisecond contractions that happen through like the rotator cuff and this musculature around your shoulder blade to create like stability, so that way all these things can move. And so in order for things to move well, they kind of happen in a very systematic approach. And similarly for you, my guess is that like kind of what's happening is like your patterns are just off. And so if you were to continue to squat and try and push through that while like, you know, you're urinating, then you're essentially continuously ingraining that like that pattern in your body, and it's a neurological thing. So it's
this
not,
is gonna happen every time. Like, and it's literally like clockwork. Like every time I hit like 120 at a back squat, 120 and on, it's like your body. You're right. It's like your body's like, nope, this is what happens.
You've essentially pushed past what your body can handle. So yeah, you're going to continue. You'll ultimately end up continuously like training that into your brain. To be like, these are the firing patterns that happen. And so like what you were talking about of like that contraction that's supposed to happen, like you're my guess, right, from what you said is like, that's just not a natural part of your like firing sequence when you're like driving out of a squat or a deadlift or whatever, clean, whatever the movement is that's heavy. Yeah. And so like you have to like retrain all of that stuff, and it's super annoying and it's super time intensive.
Yeah. And it's like, God, it's like, it's 10 minutes, you know, it's like, just fucking do it. Like, do it at a stoplight. Jesus Christ, Sam, you know, every time you hit a stoplight, like do your elevator kegels. Good God.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that. That's you know that.
Yeah. At a stoplight. You know what I mean? I'm doing it right now.
Well, and yeah, it's important, especially guys. So as a side note, guys, you also need to practice this. Your pelvic floor is just as important if you want to be like, if you want to grow to like, you know, old ripe silver age and not be just like casually pissing your pants all the time. Like,
do it now.
Do it now.
Adult diapers are it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
There's a reason for it.
I don't know. I think Seinfeld taught me that, to be honest. I don't remember.
Well, they exist, right? Incontinence is a thing that happens as we get older. Yeah. Like muscles get weak, all that stuff. But
incontinence happens. Deal with it.
PSA or our PSA is all about incontinence.
29 years old, and I'm like, If my face appears on like a fucking bus ad
Oh
for
my
incontinence, I'm gonna end it, honestly.
Okay, so one, we need advertisers.
Just right in front of that bus. Just God damn it.
Got incontinence.
Someone's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, is that you?"
Is that? Are you on that bus?
My
And you're-
fiance is like so worried. Like he's like, I would rather die than be an attorney on like a bus stop.
Oh, he doesn't want to get people out of like traffic
I'm
tickets
like,
and
you
like
don't want
DUIs.
to be Adriana's insurance.
Better Call Saul.
You don't want to be sweetjames.com.
Oh my God. Hey, Sweet James makes a lot of money.
You mean to tell? I know, no shit. I
Yeah.
was like, you mean to tell me?
Hold on. Speaking of that, I just came across
Uh-huh.
this TikTok like attorney who is like, he's like, I forget his name, but he's like, he's like, this is my client Sam. Just we just got out of our court case. She was being like accused of like domestic battery, DUI, and like like vehicular assault with a car while under the influence of methamphetamine. And we just got her sentenced down to just community service and reckless driving. Let's go. And there's like a bunch of shit like that. And
It's like a laundry list of crimes.
yes, it's insane. And it's like all of these things where it's like, and he's gonna get after his like DUI and like car crash, like he's gonna be able to get he's gonna be back to driving in 6 months. Like,
Fuck
all right,
yeah.
let's go.
Let us know when he's on the road.
And I'm like,
Can't
how is
wait.
this? I'm like, how is this a real thing? Like, how is this an honest person?
love it.
This is amazing, and it's all in LA, by the way.
I believe that.
I mean,
100%.
He was like, I'm in Alameda Courthouse right now. He was like, this guy is getting his license back.
you should have like some sort of like flag that's flown on top of your car if something like if you were a drunk driver or something,
Yeah.
and be like,
I
oh,
agree.
hell no.
Yeah.
I have little tolerance for a very small amount of things, and one of them is definitely like DUIs,
Yeah,
like driving under the influence.
With all the capabilities of getting home without driving
especially
nowadays.
now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for that. It's crazy to me, and I almost become like an emotionless zombie whenever I hear like. I know a couple people who've got like DUIs, got into accidents, and I was like, "Good, fuck you!" Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I care so little about your life
Like
now.
deserved.
Yeah.
Deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, like good. I'm glad you can never drive again.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that you like can't do certain things now. Like go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's triggering. I'm triggered.
Mouse sounds and DUIs.
It's so insane. It's such an insane. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it's called.
Mouth sounds? Or
Yeah.
No, I know
like,
what you're
that
talking
disdain.
about.
It's like
It's like you can't
misophonia or
even be
something
in the
like that.
same room.
Is it? It's something phone.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like you're
misophonia.
fading, Eric.
I have been up since 4:15.
For what reason?
I had a coach this morning.
Oh shit, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome, by the way,
Yeah.
for Wednesday.
Blow me.
Dude, I wanted to die.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
What are you talking?
Oh, you did Monday too, right?
No, not this week.
Oh.
I do
Hey,
it
but
Monday
like
next week.
during the summer, like I got you. I love morning classes. I do.
Even at 5?
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't mind it.
I can't give those up because that gets docked from the rent that I pay. So I'd rather not pay full rent.
Well, you could take more of mine then.
Sure, maybe, I don't know.
I want to hear about self.
Wait. Sorry. Before we move on to a different one. Do you find that women at the gym ask you about that peeing?
Honestly, I think when I started being obvious about it, like I think that's such a, I mean, get ready for this.
Ready.
Such a good quality of mine.
The
Is-
peeing or
is-
the listening?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Or advocacy.
Got
Depends on what you're into,
Yeah.
you know?
Depends on the night.
One,
Tomorrow.
you know, if you follow me on Instagram, if you know who I am, my mental illness and also like my incontinence. Love to hear it. I'm very transparent. I'm just so transparent. I don't know. It's like I have nothing to lose, you know? I think when I started being like, whatever, you know, I have that attitude, like, whatever, walking around the gym, but actually walking around the gym, I'm like, I fucking hate this, you know?
Inside, you're like, oh my God, please.
Yeah,
please don't
inside,
look at
and
me.
then outside of the gym, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just pee. Like,
Yeah.
inside, I'm like, I want to go home. I mean, like, I have an extra pair of pants and underwear just in case.
Yeah.
I have like little summer Eve's wipes. You know, she needs to stay
Fresh.
because like sometimes I have more shit to do. Like I did a clean. I peed like literally my pants, and I still have back squats to do.
Yeah.
It's time to change. You know, read a room. I think more women have actually come up to me and was like, oh my God, me too. Like, I can't jump rope.
Yeah.
Or
That's
Box
another one that I hear a
jumps.
lot about.
Plyometrics.
yeah, she's like, oh, I can't jump rope, or I just, what have you done? Where do I go? But yes, I think getting out in front of it, even if I'm so fucking uncomfortable, it's okay. Like, if other people are like, oh, thank God, you know, like otherwise, I hated being that person at the gym that I didn't know, and I was really hiding it like really bad. And then finally I was like, I can't help it because I'm lifting. She lifts so heavy.
She's so strong.
She's such a heavy lifter.
Oh my God. We're in the same room.
That BFP.
I don't know about that one.
But what I think, because
I just couldn't help it anymore.
What I think because more and more women have asked me about it, I don't know, like I can't give them an answer. I don't know shit about it, right? I think, and honestly, this would be up to you and the other female coaches, maybe put something on, like on a Sunday, just be like, hey, do like a women's health check.
My PT actually was like, I don't mind like coming in and doing that.
Yes.
She was like, I actually should hit her up because like that's so fucking important.
Because,
even if you don't experience it now, like it doesn't mean you're like exempt.
And it carries over into so many other things too. It's not
really
just
does.
peeing while weightlifting.
Laughing has set it off.
Coughing,
coughing,
sneezing.
It's any sort of internal pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can cause it.
And I only say this because more and more women are coming up to me and asking me about it now. Now that we're lifting heavy and we're finding 1RMs, and we're doing more Olympic weightlifting, we're doing more powerlifting. Like they're like, this is happening more, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, fuck. Like this is one field.
Just start handing out my number.
Yeah, it's like, here, you should talk to. Yeah.
I'm like,
Sweet James Bergner. He knows all about it. But no, I think like as we were talking about, I was like, I think that would be great. It's like there was just like.
I literally just remembered that she was like, I would love to do that. And I would be like, I would love to have you.
Yeah, that's super. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And she put me through like, different things. And
the ringer.
Yeah. Because everyone's different. And like, you can do different Kegel muscle exercises. Like, obviously I mentioned before the elevator, personal favorite. But there are different rhythms and things for different people. So for example, I actually have to push out my Kegel muscle because I don't actually ever have a relaxed Kegel muscle. It's always half squeezed at all times. So it's never actually getting that full squeeze where it's holding it in. It doesn't ever get like fully there because it's getting half but not full. So I actually have to work on pushing it out to relax instead of the opposite. And like everybody's like, oh no, do your Kegel muscle, and it's always squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Mine is the opposite, and I would never have known that if I didn't go.
Yes.
Ever.
I think that's important too. Like, because the default that I always hear, no one ever brings this up to me, which is interesting, but whatever.
It's always Eric.
Yeah, that's odd.
Eric's the go-to.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, whatever.
You're asking the guy who knows very little.
Marissa comes to me sometimes for female problems. She's like, what does this mean? I'm like, all right. Anyway. But no, I think that's an important note because like a lot of people just default to be like, imagine like you're stopping your pee and just call it a day and just do that a million times.
And that is the opposite of what I should be doing.
And sometimes that can be even more detrimental to somebody because there's so many different avenues of like how this issue can present itself.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a one-stop shop.
No.
Well, yes, and it's also like it's not like a random Joe's or Jane's necessary job to just like try and fix this. Like if one of my clients brought this up to me, I'm like, I got somebody to send you to. Like this is not my role.
Yeah. You want to learn how to lift after you get back? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's like because I went like the only reason why I know not so much, but some about this stuff is because like I went through like a pre-postnatal like cert a couple of like years ago, but they like talk about that stuff of like incontinence and like issues that come up with like during pregnancy, post pregnancy, and all that jazz, and the like peeing during training I learned about actually from CrossFit, because there was like, if anybody remembers Lindsay Valenzuela, like OG back in the day, she was competing at one of the regionals and like just pissed her pants. Yeah. Like it was like deadlifts and box jumps, like the two worst options.
Hell no.
But like just fucking everywhere. And I remember watching that being like, what just happened? Like what is going on?
What was that, 2013, 2014?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. West Coast regionals?
No, it was Central.
Oh, Central.
Yeah, I was back in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, point is, I remember watching that and I'm like, huh, like interesting. Like, why is this a thing? And then I think other like of the female games athletes, like at the time, were like, oh yeah, you know, this happens when I jump rope, or this happens when I do other things. And I was like, oh shit, this is like
It's a
thing.
Yeah.
Like, cool, good to know. Well, not cool, but you get where I'm going.
Right. Yeah.
And like being a female weightlifter has its, you know, good and bad
Pros
things.
and cons.
It does, as most do, but I think more things need to be talked about so we don't feel as alone. Like, I think that a huge thing that I have yet to just kind of like be, this is me and I'm getting in front of it, is self-esteem. So fucking bad. Is like, at least for my body, it's not, I don't want to say it's not normal, but it's a gymnast's body. It's very like, stout is not the word I would say. Hausfrau is not the word.
Hausfrau?
She's German. Okay?
Oh my God.
She's built sturdy, you know? But like just walking around with these like overly developed traps and deltoids with just these massive thighs, you know, finding clothes is really difficult. You know, going to other competitions where we all kind of look different. It's hard. It sucks, you know, but it's like I can't imagine not being strong.
Yeah.
I don't think I would trade that for anything.
Yeah.
But it is hard though. Especially when you have to like make weight. Fuck, I hate that shit. You know? Ugh. Hate it.
No.
Imagine if your only complaint was being skinny.
Damn. But that's a
The
pain.
life.
That's a pain in a different way.
That is a pain in a different light. Yeah.
But
I was more so on the lines of our other friend.
we know what you're getting at. You don't have to clarify.
Just saying. It's right there.
It's different. But
So skinny.
I like, it's interesting because that's not a unique thing in the sense,
No, not at all.
and not like it, but in the sense of like, it's such a very interesting common thing now within like the fitness world. Because we're seeing more like, not just like strong females, but like muscular females. And I think like, you know, obviously we can talk like societally how that's like kind of like a faux pas or like, or let's see, not a faux pas. What's the, like a taboo almost thing, to see like muscular female, right? Because you're supposed to be dainty and like thin and frail and like whatever. And so like this like shift into like, not just the emotionally strong female, but like the physically strong female as well, is like culturally, I don't know that we're there yet, completely
I think
accepting
we have more
it.
room to go.
We have a lot of room
A
to
lot.
grow, because I still see like friends of mine who are like get comments online from like fucking randos being like, "You look like a guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What
Yeah.
are you talking about?" One, no. Two, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Also, I'm part of the fat pussy gang.
Yeah, obviously.
FPG.
Excuse
FPG
me.
gang, how dare you?
Dude, I've honestly, when people do that shit, I just start booing them. I don't know. It's just like, you just boo.
Oh, yeah.
Boo.
Yeah,
boo.
boo
them.
Just, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
Boo.
It doesn't justify any more words than like boo
Or
Yeah,
fuck
like,
off.
Like,
or just a straight fuck off.
I
or
love
just-
fuck off.
or,
like,
or, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Got
it's
it.
it's not like it's such an asinine thing that you're like, I can't
I
justify
don't
more
want,
mental thought.
Yeah,
to
I
this.
don't want to give you a response because
like it's not worth your time.
no.
But like but societally, like we're just not there. Like we're not. I don't think we're there yet.
No.
But like because we live in a bubble. Like we live in a bubble where it is accepted. Like
Right,
it is
yeah.
more. It's like sometimes as much as whatever. CrossFit, you got to give credit where credit's due, man. Like I think that was one of the first avenues that has been like, here are like strong fucking ladies.
Yeah.
And made it
A
like
platform, yeah.
and it gave it a platform, but also was like, this is what athletes look like.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about of like all these like frail ass people. Like, what are you doing?
And I think it's not starting to, but I think we're in like a full swing for Olympic weightlifting too.
Oh, it's
Like, just like literally my current team, the old gym barbell team, mostly women, mostly. And I, okay, so what is, well, yeah, you just said you live in a bubble. Like we do live in this like very privileged fitness bubble where I feel safe. And honestly, I think that the gym has built myself a personal bubble where I can walk around being strong as shit and like being proud of it. Like it low key is my personality at my job.
Well, you worked hard at it. You should flaunt that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
You've earned that.
you've earned it.
Also, the fact that like my kids know that I can bench press like 3 of them at a time, there's power there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
They
you
don't
can.
fuck with me.
No.
But honestly, if you tried, I would cry. I am the most sensitive human being. I literally have used my
You can't
physical.
give away your superpower like that.
I know. I'm
Your
sorry.
kryptonite.
Kryptonite, sorry.
What?
No, I love it. It's just kryptonite.
It's your kryptonite.
No, I love the correction. It was warranted. Be better.
Check your
Eric.
shit. Get good, bro.
But
I've
like,
been up since 4:15. Fuck you, bro.
I feel like I've just like used my physical presence to make people go away, or keep them at a distance.
You are intimidating.
I know, but then honestly, if you give me any kind of like criticism, or if you scold me in any way, I'll think about it for 2 weeks, and I'll think about all these ways to make it up to you. Like it's like you put me a couple spaces down from your MySpace top 8.
Oh my god.
That's how it.
I'm in
You-
the
you
12th spot.
Just letting you guys know, I
You
am
shoot
in.
to 7.
Don't worry, I am in therapy. We are working on that. But it's that physical exterior, I think, and I think I keep working on it. And I love the fact that me being strong is part of my personality, because it's also it's a defense mechanism too.
Absolutely.
It's just like,
Hardened shell.
yeah.
Both literally and metaphorically.
When I first got to the gym, I have members now that are now my very good friends are like, yeah, like you were such a bitch. I get that all the time, and I hate when people say that to me.
Which is stupid because you're never mean.
Yeah.
You just don't emote the way that people would want you to emote.
At
You're not like,
first, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good seeing you. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because like it.
I just and a part of me is like, I came to terms with like, I'm not responsible with how you perceive me at
Yes.
first. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize like, okay, like that's okay. Like you thought I was a bitch, and for a long time that kind of hurt because I know I'm not. But after a while I was like, I don't take responsibility for that. I don't.
That's good.
Yeah.
Marissa,
It took me a minute, but
well, it's always hard because like your internal experience or a representation of yourself not meeting the expectations of what like outsiders view you as is like, it's a weird conflict of interest, and it's hard to like reconcile that sometimes. I could say like with like say Marissa, for example, Marissa, I make this joke, and I've said this on here before, but like I'm always afraid to bring her around because I'm afraid that people are going to like her more than me, and then I'm not going to have any more friends because she's so much more likable than I am. Let's be honest.
same with my fiance. Yeah.
Like it's true. But like, because like Marissa is very authentic herself, and herself is goofy as shit. Like she's like she's loud, not in a negative way, but like she's louder. She's
They're
very
charismatic.
she's charismatic. She's very
this
present.
tall, and she's as loud as we are.
She's 5 foot. It's amazing. But sometimes like when people meet her, they're like, they don't like her right away because they feel like she's putting on like an act.
like a
Yeah.
Because she's like, look at me, like me, everyone loves me, be my friend.
And
But
you're
like,
that's enough. But then you realize like,
you're
no,
like-
that's just who she is.
yeah, like that's who she is, and you're like, oh, that's almost endearing.
It does not change. You can meet her the first time. You can meet her the 30th time. It's the same Marissa.
Marissa is Marissa, and it's awesome. But like, that's it. Like, I just wanted to like relate the
Yeah.
idea of like how sometimes can be like people can be like get a first impression of you being like, that's not who the fucking I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that I'm pretty like dry humor,
Mhm.
and like very straight faced, very sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I think why I very much stay away from people when I first meet them, and I'm so much better at it than I used to be, but I kind of have to feel their personalities out, because if I am myself, it can be very intense. It can be like, I'm like, what's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? And like,
bitch.
we had a conversation a couple years ago of some older former members of the gym I go to, and some of the current ones are like, yeah, you were like just a little bit much. And I was like,
Cool.
all right.
Cool.
Like, okay. They're like, yeah, you just like, you call people like bitches. And I'm like, okay.
It's
Like,
a term of endearment.
See, and that's why I'm just
Bitch.
like, bitch. That's why I just like wait. I wait because if I'm to unleash who I am, I got to do it with the right people. Like with my kids in my classroom, like I know who to pick on.
Yeah.
Like I know who to fuck with,
Yeah.
and I know who's going to take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very good at reading it. So I think that's another defense mechanism where it's like, oh, that sounds so like
Well, is that
cocky. But
is that a defense mechanism, or is that just being,
I think it's reading the room.
or is it just being aware of the room?
I think it used to be a defense mechanism. Now it's more of reading the room.
Yeah.
Now it's just more, I am myself. It's whether I turn up who I am or tone down who I am.
Yeah.
But it used to be a defense mechanism where
Fair.
I just didn't want people to get too close. And I honestly, when I first joined the gym we're at now, I was not comfortable. It was very cliquey at the time. I felt like I was invading the space. Ugh, it was awful. And
You weren't the only one who felt that, by the way.
I know. That was a really hard time. And I think that our gym has gotten a lot better. Shout out.
Significantly better.
Like so much better. I feel like it's so much less clicky. I don't really see any like clicks.
No.
If you,
Well, those
you know what I mean?
the people that were a part of that kind of either left or weeded themselves out.
Yeah,
for the
which
most
they
part.
usually do.
Yeah.
You know, but
So-
it's nice. It's nice going like there's friends that like hang out, but they're not like rude or clicky. And
No,
I
it's not
love
like
that.
it's not secluded to just that group of friends.
Right. And I feel like the coaches do a really great job of like inclusion.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't, let us know. But not me because I can't take criticism. I'll
Tell-
probably cry about
Give it
it.
to one of us. and
Tell Eric or myself,
Like
and then
literally,
we'll tell Sam.
don't tell
Yeah.
don't tell me anything because I'll cry.
we'll pass on a very subtle, gentle note.
Um,
When I first met you, so we've talked about this. We have very similar personalities. It's very similar with Ryan. When I first met Ryan, I was like, I'm going to make him my friend. When I first met you, I was like, why is she standoffish with me?
Fuck.
And then I was
See,
like, but a lot of it had to do with me because I was new there. And I
Okay.
was like, I'm going to make her my friend.
Oh, shit.
Like,
See, and then it's like that. Like, I feel like I've gotten so much better. And then people tell me that, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
but mind you, this was like 6 months ago.
hold on. No. It's because of our fucking prudish ass,
Also that.
like the way that we
Predecessor.
the way that we the way that we interact like socially. Like in the United States, I just had this conversation. It's whatever. It's crazy that this constantly happens. In the United States, we're so accustomed to being like overt, being like we kind of care a lot about what other people
We're very,
think.
and we're very concerned.
We're very
with that.
concerned. Yes, we're very concerned about how other people think. So if you are like, if somebody's meeting you for the first time and they're like more bubbly or trying to be like, tone up the charm to be like, this is a first impression, I'm gonna make a good first impression, and you don't like meet that same level of energy, people get like freaked out by that. They're like, what's wrong with? Well, usually they say what's wrong with you, but in reality, it's what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
It's generally how it goes.
So what's wrong with you, Eric?
Yeah, Eric,
There's a lot.
get your shit together.
Where do you want me to start? There's a lot.
Do better.
Damn. I mean, like, see, like right now, I'm like, fuck, that kind of sucks, Sam.
But it
then
wasn't
I'm
but it wasn't
but
you.
then-
Like,
no, but like, if I acted like how I am all the time, which I do, but like, God, that's exhausting.
it's fucking draining.
I'm tired. Like,
It's fucking
I
draining.
am literally tap dancing in front of my students all day so they don't fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I make something fun. I'm like up there with goddamn pom poms, and then I have
I
to
would
like.
love to see that, by the way. I want to see how you interact with kids. That sounds.
Do you want to know?
That sounds like it'd be like.
It's literally
a
the
totally
same way
different
I
person.
react.
I was gonna say, have you seen her class?
It's literally the same way I talk to you guys, just no cussing.
Ah.
Actually, wait a minute. I have slipped a few. in there.
Fair.
I have not said the F word though. I almost
Oh.
did the other day.
You're like, oof.
I literally like
You
they
mother
they pissed me off
flower.
so much. I did it like this. Ready? Get out. Like I was pissed. And I feel like teachers and people, coaches and stuff, if you scream all the time, it loses its
yes.
vigor.
Yes.
It loses its like,
Yeah. You're like, just
yeah,
yelling.
it's like, oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
But like I just was like, get out.
Oh, you
and
whispered
it
to him.
cuts.
Dude,
That's scarier.
That quiet
the
cuts.
quieter, the
scarier.
more quiet, holy shit. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I've never seen them scurry faster out of that classroom. And today they walked in with their tails between their legs, and I was like, good bitch. I was like, I was over it the minute you guys walked out, but I'm glad you guys kept thinking about it like you should.
Let that
Do
sink in.
better.
Well, and I think that's, just as an aside, that's a good thing to think about. Like, not from like the power sense, which I feel like you're tripping on right now, but more so that that shows that they respect you.
Yeah, no.
The fact that you got mad at them and then they were cognizantly walking with their tail between their legs, being
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I messed up," and trying to,
Especially with the
Miss
ego,
Sam.
the egocentrism of 8th graders and the lack or the building of empathy that is just not there
Yeah.
for a lot of them. Yeah, they came back today, and like some of them like wrote me letters. Yeah. One of them got me a candle, and I was like, damn. And you know what?
I'm going to whisper to you all the time now.
Get your homework out.
Thank you.
But I feel like, honestly, I don't know where I was going with that. I literally just
you were
fucking blanked
You were
out.
talking about how you talk to us the same way that you talk to the kids without swearing, but you
I
almost
do.
let it slip.
Well,
and that was where you said you got out.
That was like 5 minutes ago, though.
Yeah, where were you at, Ryan? Talking about pom-poms and shit.
I'm bringing it back. I'm going back to what we were talking about before.
How I teach is the reason I like teaching 8th grade is because I can't deal with 6th grader immaturity because I'm not silly. I am just not silly. And like immaturity is like kind of gross. Mm-hmm. I'm like, ugh, you're weird. You know, I'm like, I can't relate to you.
Yeah.
But 8th graders, they're like cool. You know, they get it. They get my sarcasm, and like obviously some of them don't, and that's okay. But like they also want to please you. Mm-hmm. They're like still in that.
They're like cognizant that they're aware that they're now trying to like garner attention and affection.
Right. But it's like the last grade that'll do it. You know, like freshmen on. Jesus Christ. Good luck. But like 8th grade is such a sweet spot.
Yeah. They're like still innocent enough.
They are. And then I find out they're vaping in the bathroom, and then I'm like, that's weird. That's illegal. God.
Did any of your kids go through that weird thing where they were like stealing shit from the bathrooms?
Dude.
What
a time that was.
Right?
That was literally last semester. Fucking TikTok, dude.
TikTok.
Wait, what?
There was a TikTok challenge. Oh my God. Where it was like a different challenge a week or something. Sons of bitches.
And it was like
and the first challenge was like destroy or steal like something from school property. And they were like it was chaos. Like they were like ripping the bathroom towel holder out.
Oh my God.
I'm like, you guys are like caged animals. Like, and
yes.
I remember I said it to them. It was in class, and of course I addressed it. Like, it's weird when you don't.
Right.
But I was like, if you guys are doing that, that's so embarrassing. Oh my God. They really react to shame. Mm-hmm. It's like booing them. Mm-hmm. Like if I hear any like kind of like racist kind of shit, I boo them immediately. I'm like, boo, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Besides the F word. But like, I just was like, oh, that's so embarrassing. Like how embarrassing that is. Oh, like there's this girl that like literally ditches all of school and like stays in the bathroom. I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
You could literally stay anywhere else.
Like, that's gross. I don't know.
Like a classroom.
Like, oh, man.
Yeah, maybe like the classroom.
Yeah. I've had to, in the inverse, I've had to yell at 6 a.m. because they just like to talk.
And there's a lot of them, too.
And there's a lot of them. And then, so like normally I don't have to yell, right? 90% of the classes I haven't had to yell. The 10% though, it's like 2 or 3 classes where they're just talking. And I sit there, turn the music down, wait for their attention. They're still talking.
Can you do the I'm waiting?
Oh, I should do
God.
that, but I don't have the patience.
And I'll give you the skeleton meme. You know what I'm talking about? Teachers be like, I'm waiting. And there's like a skeleton.
See, the way that I go about the 6 a.m. crew is, like you said, like shame is a powerful tool. Mm-hmm. I just publicly shame people.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, listen.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. It's so good. Like
I need to start that.
And like everybody, everybody is on the cards. Like I will sometimes go out of my way to like hit people who aren't even doing anything wrong, and then be like, I'm sorry, I just needed to make sure everyone knows that like they're all unsafe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually didn't mean this about you. But yeah, just like sarcastically be like, whatever, to everybody, especially when people walk in late.
I just give one loud hey.
No,
like
it doesn't do it.
No, the room falls silent.
See, because that's like more of a fear thing, and I don't want to do fear. I want people to know that I'm gonna out them for being a dick. Shit.
I see. Okay,
so a room of people.
So here's your level of dick.
Like
here's my level of dick.
No.
Yes.
No, there's a difference.
Your sarcasm. I'm an asshole.
Yes, I'm mean, but in a way that is like was that mean?
I'm just mean.
And the people who are aware, yes, and that's where
we differ. That's why I can't do the call you out kind of subtly because it's funny.
Because it's either it's not passive.
Yeah. For me, it's aggressive. For me, it's like shut the fuck up before you drop the bar on your head because you're not fucking listening and you suck at lifting.
Yeah,
that would be my response.
Well, that's
and I can't.
not an appropriate way to deal
Right.
with that.
This is why I just give a big hey.
Loud hey.
And people stop talking and look at me like, oh my God, he's going to yell at us again. And they're like, thank you for shutting the fuck up.
I only yell at people that are talking that are not in my class. I hate that
Oh,
shit.
That's
I
fair.
fucking hate
Guilty.
that shit.
I'll yell at them too.
Oh yeah, and like I feel like the worst ones are the coaches.
Sorry.
No, it's not you yet. But like I have no problem with that. But like but like when they talk during warm up, I'm like, okay, so that's a liability. You know what I mean? Like, this is where, I'm like, I always say like, you guys can chat. You need to be warming up at the same time. You can do both. I promise.
Oh, yeah.
You
I did that this morning. They were just, there was two of them just sitting there with a PVC, like just doing this. And they were just talking. And I was like, so that's a good warm up, just standing there like a scarecrow. Why don't you keep moving?
That's what I say. That's my level of sarcasm.
I'm practicing it.
Don't be stealing my shit. I'm the passive aggressive
practicing
one.
it.
I'm the Midwesterner.
practicing. I'm trying to
Ooh,
practice.
we should
and
do
be
like
better.
which coach is which. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd be
We don't-
obvious.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so you're the passive aggressive,
1,000%.
right? You're the
Just
if
aggressive.
if I'm not like loud quickly, I can get to a point where no return. Right?
I'll feel bad for what comes out of my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you have some sort of conscious.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't say that word.
Conscious?
Conscience.
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 There,
Yeah.
that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said the first time?
No, I always say like.
Do you say conscious?
Conscious?
I don't know. Oh my god.
Conscience?
Consweet?
There's one of our coaches. He was on last week.
Yeah.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
Yeah, what?
The class.
Controlling?
Like, yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a confidence thing.
When he turns the music down.
Oh my God.
We're getting there.
It's practice.
Yeah. Maybe he just needs a fucking Apple Watch. Grow up.
Or not to talk while the music's up.
Dude, it's like
it's
like
so funny.
bumping, and I'm like legit right next to you. I can't hear a word you're saying.
So
I've told him before. I was like, dude, you have to turn the music down when
So
you're coaching.
truth be told, sometimes I hang out on Mondays just to turn it down, just because I know he walks away,
I've seen you do that before,
and
too.
I'm just like, you have to do this
just a little bit.
because he's
Okay,
not
the
boisterous.
fact that now, like, I know I do it, you do it, you do it. I know another one that does it, and the other one, we're all just. He better get his shit together because I thought it was just coming from me.
Nope. No.
Okay, because I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
No, he is getting better though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
but it's still hilarious.
Those are little things. Those are like little things that people don't really all like talk about.
Yeah.
There's one of our coaches, one of our head coaches, who's very, she's very loud, but it's energetic and very preppy. It's very positive.
Mhm.
And if not, she spins it that way.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Who
well, it can't-
else could it possibly
can't
be?
It
The
can't
noon.
be. No.
not even close.
Well, I've never seen or taken her class, so I wouldn't.
You've talked to her though. It's pretty.
fair.
Let's be
I
honest.
feel like she gets
fuck?
respect. One, because the class size is not 25.
It's like 2 or 5.
Right. But she also, like, I think they respect her a lot because she knows her shit. You know what I mean? There's like something, like when she says something because her husband is my weightlifting coach, it's like, it's so, and I love she gets carried away with fuck.
You're fine.
Almost. Continue.
I was like, hey, this is a 10-minute portion. Why are they 35 minutes in this snatch? I'm like, she's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, all right. Well. And then the last one, I don't know. I think the last one's a mix.
Well, we're missing a couple.
Yeah, we're missing a handful.
Girl.
Oh,
Okay.
She's a mix.
She's on and then she's off. I've seen both days.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like it's a little more of a grab bag of what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's never like bad.
Right.
But
No.
there's like
The consistency, though. It's
yeah.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of ebbs and
Yeah.
flows.
Did I
And
get one Reese's or did I get a bag of Reese's Pieces?
Right. It's very much like whatever the energy is for her because
Yeah.
I know, like, you know, like me, you know, other people really can't decide our mood.
Yeah.
And not that she's ever in a bad mood because
Right.
she never is.
Right.
Actually, she never is. Son of a bitch. God.
It's
And
a
then
lie.
the other two I've never seen. Actually, the other three I haven't really seen coaching.
The tall one, the bald one, and the short one.
Yeah.
Just that. The
Wait,
way that you
wait.
just described them.
Isn't one of them tall and bald?
The
The ripped one.
Okay,
The
there's-
short one.
yeah.
And the bald one.
We also have a tall one.
Oh my God! Hold on. How are we getting this?
Continue.
All right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So
Minor
so
pause.
The tall one. When I first watched, I felt like I needed to watch more because I was like, okay, like you kind of know, but you're having trouble explaining it.
Yeah.
And then the more I've watched him, the more he's progressed. And I'm like,
Definitely.
okay, he's on.
Yeah.
He's good.
And I
He needs to let go of the fucking PVC.
He
pipe,
does. He does because he walks around like Moses.
like it's a weapon.
though. Yeah.
No, like
Parting the
Moses.
Red
Not
Sea.
even like waving. Like he's just like. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you're young. Like, what do you
Like
need
a
this
90-year-old
walking
with a
staff
walking
for?
shit,
Yeah.
like a walking stick, like a fucking wizard.
Also, it's
Yeah.
not even your
Not a grand
height.
wizard,
Yeah.
though. No,
Oh,
of course
God,
not.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
Eric's
see
been
how-
corrected before.
I've been corrected.
You see how it
so
all
many
circles
times.
back?
It all comes back to the KKK.
He's a grand dragon, though, right? No.
I hate it here.
I hate it here.
No, but the tall one, it's like I feed off of his energy so much. Like he and I are like wannabe Gen Z. Like we
yeah.
vibe so hard with the Gen Z. You know what I mean? But I have not really seen the bald one, the shorter one, or the ripped one.
I haven't seen the
Ever.
bald one or the short one.
I've seen them all.
I know the
baby.
ripped
Seen
one.
them all.
I've seen them all.
I know the
baby.
ripped one can coach. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job.
yeah.
Bald one is a little too inexperienced. So from what I've seen, it's all phenomenal stuff. Definitely knows his shit. But it's like it's lack of experience is like it's a lot of over explaining time management, stuff like that.
I feel
Things
like
that
that's
just need to be ironed out. really.
Yeah, that's literally all it is.
I feel like time management is the fault of every like beginner coach.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, like that's the number one is time management.
The one with the music.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes.
much better at it. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh my god. I remember it was
It's-
10 minutes over, then 8 minutes over, then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it just
He's-
kept getting
He's
better.
truly so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's why when people like with why does it always come back to teaching? God, get over yourself. People that are like, "Oh, I know so much about this." It doesn't mean you should be teaching it though.
Yes.
or
like
that
it's-
you can.
Or you
Right,
can.
and it's how you communicate. You know, like for me, and this is something I still do, when we do split jerks, coaching it, it's really hard for me to explain split jerks because I have been doing them for so long, and that was like the one lift that I picked up immediately. So it's like I don't remember learning it. I don't remember it.
Interesting.
It's like, you know, as a gymnast, damn, I've been doing handstands since I was like 3, right? I don't remember the mechanics of it. I actually had to relearn how to do it and then how to coach it. Because it's like if something is just so natural at this point and your muscles kind of take over, it's really hard to explain what's going on. It's hard to break it down.
Yeah, and especially if you're not doing that super frequently.
Right. And like I really had to break down a handstand when I first started coaching gymnastics. I was like, how the fuck do I teach a handstand? You just do it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Just, I don't know. Get
That's
up in
like-
your hands.
Just
Yeah.
stand
That's
on your
how
hands.
I feel with like a split
Handstand.
jerk. I'm like, I don't know, just do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, you know, but I've gotten better at it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Obvi.
So I have a question because split jerks has been a thing for the last couple weeks. Have you guys seen where they land with the front foot and then kind of lunge forward?
Mm-hmm.
Are we teaching that?
No.
Okay, good.
Are they lunging? Did you hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
A little dragon come onto your throat.
Not a grand dragon.
Not a grand
Not a
dragon.
grand dragon.
No.
Of course not.
Right.
Well, maybe.
It does that. It like rolls to the front.
Yeah.
The dragon?
Anyway, are they doing it because they're pushing their back foot
I can't
forward?
tell. Well, I've seen them do it in the warm-up with just a barbell. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Because like obviously if your back foot's straight,
Yes.
that's gonna push
It's
it.
going to push you forward.
If you're not doing back front too, and that's such a hard movement. Is like a split second in time your back foot has to hit first, and it's a slide. It's not a stomp. It's like anything else in this millisecond
Yeah.
of time.
What else do I need to do
Jesus
while getting
Christ.
this stupid thing above my head?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. it could also be that. It could also be like that, like toe first in the front foot and then heel. It could be like a bunch of things, to be honest. But no, we're not teaching that.
Yeah, okay.
And I always go, okay, I go like drop the barbell, drop the PVC pipe, give me like a lunge, 90 degree, come up. You know, like if that's not what you feel, it's not balanced at all.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and they will not be able to move on unless it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have a button.
A button?
Yeah, it's like a split jerk, like no button. Can you edit that out? That was so fucking stupid.
No,
What I just
staying
said.
in there now.
That's
Son of a
staying in,
bitch.
yeah.
That was
You get the no button
The
now.
split jerk no button.
what the like that made
Wait, say that again?
The split jerk no button.
Okay.
that made no sense.
That's fine.
That was so stupid.
It's okay.
No.
You know,
Now it's gonna live on forever
it
on the
honestly
internet.
didn't even sound good in my head, and I said it anyway.
Perfect.
God, I hate
Stream
it.
of consciousness.
As long as
is
it
the best.
came out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We say stupid shit all the time. You just
Yeah.
own it. See, here's the thing. If you don't call it out a lot of times, no one's going to know any better.
To be fair,
I
that's
call
probably
out-
the name of this episode.
I call out my mental illness and urinating.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had it.
And now
I've
you're,
had enough.
And now you're embarrassed by no button?
Yeah. Split jerk no button.
Of all things?
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
Thanks,
yeah.
Dad. Thanks, Zaddy.
Zaddy.
Go.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when I see that, it's usually because the straightened back leg.
Yeah.
It's almost
Look
always.
at they're pushing.
They're like pushing for that back foot.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, because I feel like we did a good job at the clinic. I think we need to put on another one.
Maybe I think split jerks are so complex.
Yeah.
It should be its own thing.
It should. I agree. It should be. It shouldn't be a clean and jerk clinic. It should just be the split
Because
jerk clinic.
cleans deserve their own.
Absolutely.
Like Jesus,
Absolutely.
cleans deserve like a part A, part B.
Snatches.
I mean, if they show up, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out.
True.
But also with that, it's like, you know, like if they had a straight back leg, that's really obvious.
Yes.
Right. But sometimes it's like, you don't know how much you actually have to bend your knee. Like it's way more than you think you need to, you know? So it could be like that. Like they just have to bend it more,
Yeah.
you know, to just get that balance back over their hips. I sound so smart right now.
You do.
Yeah, he's very
You're
intelligent.
really you're putting it
You're
on.
nailing
Putting
Honestly,
on a show tonight.
that is my love language, is like words of affirmation. I eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm a piece of shit and I don't deserve love.
And no one
Someone
loves me
needs
ever.
to affirm my existence at all times.
all times.
Always.
Yeah.
So next time I walk in the gym, I go, Sam, see you existing over there. And you're
See
like,
you existing, and I'm going to be like,
there we are.
how we do.
Yes. But the other one, like whenever I've worked with some of the like members, like one-on-one, the other one that's really popular is like people being in their toes. That's a huge one where I'm like, well, I have to like
in the split.
Yeah. When they get into it and they're
Yeah.
like in their toes on that front foot, and I have to like grab them, just be like shift backwards. And they're like,
Interesting.
is this what it's to feel like?
Why are they not on their toes in an extension, in a clean? Oh, so you can get on your toes.
Well,
What are toes?
I think
I mean, shout out. You know what I mean?
honestly, so there's a couple things that I think we need to do a little bit better at, like when it comes to coaching like the lifts and classes and stuff like that. Bro, are you okay?
Sorry.
Fucking hell.
I mean, you set it up so perfectly. You set it up so perfect. SNL could not have written a better one. He knows too.
I did not think about that
He
as it was
knows.
coming out, and as I said it and you said shout out, I was like, "Fuck."
He knows. But with that though, I don't know where you're going, but I'm just
It's
gonna
fine.
assume.
Go for it.
So I've been in seen different competitions. When I mean different, I meant the one I was in that I had no business competing in.
Which you crushed.
Thank you.
Courage.
I feel like a lot of people are like, "Why is she here?" And then the last 6 minutes, we're like, "Oh, that's why."
That's why.
Yeah, they're like, "Fuck."
Never mind. Got
Yeah.
it. We do have like a lot to work on, right? But I feel like out of all the lifts that we did in that competition, our athletes were like very good technically.
Yeah.
Like you could tell we prioritize those lifts a lot. But what do we need to what do you think in your opinion?
I think sometimes we sometimes get too, so especially with the Olympic lifts, I think we sometimes get too nuanced with
Our watches.
fuck me. All right, cool. No, just got 2 drop-ins for tomorrow. Can't wait.
Oh shit. Rip.
I don't know if you saw the workout, but
I did.
I was like, please don't. I literally was, as I was writing it, I was like, please don't let there be any new people in this class. Like,
right.
I don't
Good
want to have to try
luck.
and teach this. Anyway, I think we sometimes get a little too deep in the weeds with like the nuance of certain aspects of the lifts. Like I've watched coaches try and be like, you got to shrug more. And I'm like, is that really the biggest issue that we have to have?
Yeah.
It's like prioritizing what like really needs to be fixed.
Yeah, you in CrossFit they'll talk about like the triage, right? So you have to like triage the like what is the biggest issue at hand, and like usually things start to self-correct from there. And I think when we talk about like the actual pull, was it like the third pull really? So with like the triple extension and stuff, something is getting lost in translation, and I haven't figured out where it is, but like a cue that I've been using for people, it's not the best, but it works, is like I'll literally just work with people and just be like jump, like literally jump. And so there's like I did the class was it last week, I had all of them were fucking it up, and I was like, all right guys, I'm like, here's what we're gonna do, and I like had them go from like just a hang, and I was like, I want you to literally just jump up with the bar, and they're like, what do I do from there? I'm like, just jump, like leave the ground and jump. And so I did it a couple times, and I was like, they started to like feel that out, and I was like, this is kind of what it's supposed to feel like. I'm like, effectively now what we need to do is jump, but don't leave the ground. And that was like the weird turning moment where like then all of a sudden people's like the bars were flying up, and I was like, huh, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
Like that's what I use like on one-on-ones, but I'm like, here's the first time I'm gonna try this in a class environment, and it worked really well. And a lot of people actually like there's 2 girls in class that PR'd their cleans on accident. And I was like, okay.
I think one of them texted me that day and was like, Ryan got me to do this, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. But there's like sometimes I think we like, and the hard part is too, like because we have a weightlifting team there, and we have like weightlifters, 3 of you are coaches as well. I think that's like there's almost too much information sometimes coming in, and it's like overshadowing like some of the simpler ways that we can kind of go about like teaching a specific aspect of the lift, i.e. like talking about like triple extension, because like you can't do it without, you can't jump without that.
Like triple extension is like literally the last thing I ever talk about, but like
I don't even use those words.
Yeah, well, like
I just say extension.
I don't ever say triple extension now that I think about it, because people are probably going to look at me like,
well, because they're going to go,
that?
yeah, they're going to be like, explain that. I'm like, well, what do you remember?
Yeah.
Well, and like technically, if you're lifting, like close to your PR, like 70 and up, you really are jumping with it.
Yeah.
You just can't
You just
leave
can't
the ground
leave the
because it's
ground.
too fucking heavy,
It's power and finesse. It's like ultimately what weightlifting is, and especially at like sub max weights, you are powering it, but you're also kind of finessing it, because you could technically jump with the bar.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to.
Right. I think the 2 things that I want to focus on with the classes when I come back from
Your hiatus.
Sabbatical. She's a teacher.
Sorry.
if I was ever granted sabbatical, I'll let you know.
All right.
Oh my God. That's a whole other fucking issue.
Would you let us know? Or would you just disappear?
I would disappear off the face of this earth. And you'll never see me again.
Sam who?
Goddamn right. The 2 things that I think are the most important for beginner lifters is straight arms all the way up to your hips. Okay. And then keep the goddamn bar on your fucking legs.
Mm.
Like, I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's weird. And I know it doesn't feel great sometimes. But like, you're humping the bar. Keep it close. Like, when's the last time you saw me lift in shorts? That's what I thought. Or like, I'm scraping my fucking legs all the way up. You know? I think those are the 2 main points that I want to make sure they know. Everything else we can fix as time moves on, but it's the straight arms, keeping your bar close.
And those are like 2 really, really important habits, like really important movement patterns to ingrain early on.
Right.
Because it's so hard to break.
Dude, it took me so long to break those.
Yeah.
Because the bar was never as close as it could have been, and I was always bending my arms first.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
That set me back like months.
There's a 6 a.m.er that I don't think anybody has told him to pull the bar into his hips in quite a while. So when they were in my class the other day, I was like, you need to pull that bar into your hip. And he like almost hit himself in the chin. Because he's like, whoa, the bar flew up really fast. And I was like,
right.
I'm like, what is happening right now? Okay. Go ahead.
That dude has never pissed me off. so I've never had to yell at him. He just doesn't listen.
Yeah, Eric, I'm gonna have a little real talk with you real quick.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Let's hear it.
There's a lot of people that for some reason don't seem to want to listen to you.
I don't get it. The ones that do,
Eric,
their lifts.
Pristine.
what did we talk about maybe 15, 20 minutes
I'm
ago?
not an asshole to him. I wasn't.
Maybe.
I don't think I was.
There
You
are
know what my
those-
mom told me? It's not what you say.
It's how you
It's
say
how
it.
you say it. Oh. And Eric, sometimes
I'm an asshole.
Sometimes your words can cut
Yeah.
inadvertently.
Yeah.
And I know
Sometimes I'm honestly scared to not be your friend.
and I know you, so that way whenever sometimes you say shit that cuts to me, I'm like, I know he didn't mean it that way because you're like genuinely one of the nicest people I know. But I'm just saying sometimes when people get annoyed with you or when you get annoyed with people,
Yeah.
loose lips a little bit.
Sink ships.
I have said that
You're sinking some ships.
their pull-ups are trash.
To their face?
To their face.
like
I've
Sam-
honestly said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Like Sam, you have to understand who you can say that
That's
to.
true. That's
right.
true.
Right. Right.
Because we got a bunch of we have a lot of sensitive people at
Yeah.
our gym.
Yeah.
Which understandable.
I've
Fitness
toned
is hard.
I've toned it down a little bit.
I
A
like
little
that.
bit. I'm baby
You're
steps.
gonna think about this shit for a week.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
All right, you're not.
He's
like
gonna
me.
forget about
As-
this.
As soon as you walk out the door, I got other shit to think about.
Eric's walking around the hallway, just
I'm
be like, "Fuck
McGregoring-
these
I'm
people."
McGregoring
Still a
back
dick.
to my room and packing for my trip tomorrow.
Where are you going?
I got to go to Vegas.
Yeah, isn't it always like I have to go? You know.
Is it? Yeah, it's weird, right?
I hate going to Vegas, but they're paying me to go to Vegas.
Can't say no.
Nope.
My fiance's from Henderson, and I would rather.
Oh, I was wearing the shirt earlier.
Oh
I have
my
a
God, I
Henderson
was-
CrossFit shirt. What did you think that was?
I don't know. That
You
was
just did one
that
of
was
these
like
and then-
that was like a woman that thought she was lactating.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
what it. That's what it. I was like, that's interesting.
I also saw you go for the
I
Yeah.
went like this,
right.
to grab my shirt.
Right.
So do lactating.
I just
women
wanted you to look
when
at my
they don't
titties,
realize-
No,
okay?
but like
I did a lot of
I
push-ups
can't
today.
think of a worse place to live
Then Henderson.
than no.
Henderson's a little rough.
It's a little too tract home for me. It's a little too strip mall. I can't do it. I just
can see
can't.
that.
I'm so fucking
Wait,
spoiled here.
Vegas or Henderson?
Henderson.
Henderson is exactly. It's an entire town of strip mall.
I
Like
I
that. That's
hate
what
it.
it looks. It feels.
Yeah,
like.
it's just cookie cutter.
It's all
mall.
like-
cookie cutter
It's-
mall.
Yeah, it's
cookie
all
cutter.
those like factory fucking homes.
Yeah, tract homes are absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
Weird. It's like
I
it's like,
can't do it.
It's like a full city of like townhomes.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's very dystopian. I think
It
in
doesn't-
My,
yeah,
in my
it's
opinion.
weird.
I hate it. I
it
like
is right next to the exotic car track, though.
That is true. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and +1, and then we're still on like -50 with all the
Right.
cons.
Well,
True.
okay.
But like,
what if there's 50 cars there? Then it's
I don't give a shit
oh,
unless it's F1. You know what I mean?
that's fair.
Oh my God, you're one of those too.
Bitch, I've been.
Okay.
I've
You
been.
you've been an F1 fan pre this like weird fever dream that everyone's like having together.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
I try to
all
explain
respect.
I'm
that
not
to
one of our friends that just went to Miami, and she literally just watched Drive to Survive like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
love her to death, but like, fuck her.
With where she was located, yes.
Unreal. That's disgusting.
Like really good seats.
Like,
really
like
good.
seats were like
Just in the pit crew. Like
Might
hanging
Just
as
out with the pit-
above, I
Might
think.
as well
Just
be.
just above and to the right in one of the turns.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Happy for her.
Love that
Not
journey.
really.
Love that journey.
Disgusting.
Yeah. No, he tried to call me out on that. He's like, "When did you become an F1 fan?" And I was like, "Dude, I've been a Red Bull fan for years. Like,
I've been a Red Bull fan for years
not the
as
drink, the extreme sports."
That should be given.
I like
me
the extreme
wings,
sports.
baby.
But you tried to call me out as if I didn't know.
Is F1 really extreme sports? Is it? It's just
Yes.
it's racing.
Have you seen? Did you almost see Hamilton get like killed by a wheel? Thank you, Halo. That saved his
Halo.
life.
Yeah, that the ring around
The
the,
lip ring.
cab of the.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It like
Okay.
yeah.
Look, I grew up with drag racing. Like that was the thing. I don't consider it a fucking extreme sport.
It's in a straight line.
What? It's the same thing.
It's not the same.
I
It is
did-
100%.
I did
Shut up.
not want to do Formula One because I do equate NASCAR with. I thought it was like NASCAR, and like I can't.
No, it's a rich.
There's more
person's
than just a
NASCAR.
turn left.
The minute
There's a turn right.
the minute
also.
my fiance was like, "No, it's like Mario Kart," I was like, "I'm fucking sold."
It's like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's a better way to describe
Like
it, for
honestly,
sure.
I was like, say less.
It's a more expensive, dangerous
go.
Mario Kart.
And now
with
I
consequences.
post the most. I can't stop. I might as well be a Pierre Gasly
Fangirl.
account. I honestly, it's
You're
like
Stan.
mute me. I can't stop. It's a sickness.
Did you know Stan was a word?
Yeah, I'm an
Yeah,
eighth
she's-
grade
Am I
teacher.
the
she's
only
cool.
one?
No, Eric.
Like we stan a king. You know what I mean? Like we stan that thick king.
I guess I'm the only one.
You're not the only one. You're just really representing the fact that you're older than the people that use it.
That's fair.
Also, Stan is on its way out. I'm just letting you know.
What is on its way in then to replace it? I need to
I
get
don't-
ahead of this.
I don't think there is one. Stan's not on the way
Is it
out.
going back to fan? Please say it's going back
Fam?
to fan.
No, fan.
No, fan.
There's no-
The actual word.
There, you can be a
fan.
fan.
Oh, like
You-
we.
But
like-
here's the thing: stands are fans, but not all fans are stands.
This is so meta.
It's not meta.
I don't know what meta means.
You used it correctly. Good job, though.
Did I?
Yeah, 100%.
You made me doubt myself.
No,
That was some gaslighty
that
shit,
was-
Ryan.
I know.
That was perfectly used.
You used it correct. You used it correctly.
Oh, but you don't.
But that's not. That's not. We're not. This isn't a meta conversation.
I still don't know what meta is. I
That's
just.
right. I
felt,
still don't know what
That's
the
fine.
fuck how to use zeitgeist
Zeitgeist.
properly.
Yeah, I know, that was we can't go down that road. No, you know what cap is, right?
The
Stop.
thing
No,
No.
stop it.
Like no cap.
Like, that's
like no
cap.
cap. You
yeah,
don't know what it
like
means.
It's, yeah.
like that's
Like,
cap.
yeah.
Some of the slang right now is bullshit. But whatever.
I have to be exposed to this for literally the rest of my life until I retire.
No, because those words
No,
are going to phase
it'll
out within the
change.
next 2
Yeah,
to
no,
5
like
years.
I will
and-
always be up to date,
Oh, that's
and
fair.
that scares the shit out of me.
That's good.
Like I'm in a Bad Bunny phase, right? Because
I feel like that's old. Shouldn't the Bad Bunny phase
No.
already been?
No, Bad Bunny's current.
He's still current.
Yeah.
oh my God, he's still current. Okay. Anyway,
Sorry.
most of my kids-
Ba.
good one.
Yeah,
God, you sound just like him.
I should get paid.
Talking about F1.
Most of my kids are Latino,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I just want to be invited to the carne asada. That's all. So I stand Bad Bunny, but also, like, I don't know a word he's saying.
Nobody
right?
does.
No fucking clue. I also didn't know, other people didn't know because he has a Puerto Rican accent and he omits the S's.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I told my kids, would you hate me if I learned Spanish with a Puerto Rican accent? They're like, yes. And I'm like, tough shit.
Tough shit because that's what I'm
Two,
learning.
I'm like, Bad Bunny can come out with like these like absolute bangers and they could be like about broken hearts. And I'm out there just being like, yes, king. Like, let's fucking go. And like, they're like, this is so sad. Like, it's about a stripper that like is heartbroken and trying to move on. And I'm like, yes, go off, Bad Bunny. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying.
Bad Bunny, I love you.
Yes. Mommy. I'm just trying to stay relevant. It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just learn it by osmosis. Like you just pick it up because
Yeah,
of
but
who you're
I
around.
honestly, I'm gonna try to Rosetta Stone Spanish.
Oh, okay.
I
Rosetta
really am.
Stone callback. Wow. You're not gonna use like Babbel or like Duolingo
I think,
or
and my fiance also thinks this too. I think people that use Duolingo just get good at Duolingo.
uh,
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like they don't actually
It's not
like
conversational.
learn.
It's not.
Right.
No,
it's-
no, it definitely is.
Is it?
Yes, it's definitely conversational, but like depending on the language, it only goes up to a certain level. So like Italian, like the Italian Duolingo doesn't go
I
very
remember you were
high.
telling me you were like level 5 or some shit.
It varies.
Whatever it was.
Spanish goes really high to like almost college level.
Like he didn't get that far. He just got good at it.
Yeah. Well,
You know
so
what I mean?
You
the
just
hard-
kept repeating the words that were on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
but so it's ultra repetitive, which
Taco.
sucks. But like a burrito.
Good one. Yep.
Burrito.
Spanish.
¿Por qué no vamos a museo?
Hey.
But the issue with those is like you have to be like conversational with it.
yeah. You have to
Like,
practice it.
Yeah, if you're only doing it from the app, you'll learn fucking nothing.
I know,
Like
and
you can't even apply it.
And part of me he was doing this shit during like lockdown. I'm like, what the hell are you like? What a waste! You're not even practicing this with anybody. Like it's me.
Learn Spanish, bruh.
Like what? So I might do a little Rosetta Stone action.
Yeah.
You know, because I do want to because I want to know if my kids are talking shit about me.
Yeah.
Truly.
We
Which
have
they
so
are.
many Spanish speakers in class, and especially the music one could also help with that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
She speaks
And-
Spanish?
Not that music one.
Oh.
The music issue one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did try Dothraki for like an hour, and I was like, I don't fucking.
You didn't try.
so.
Did you try and
throat
learn
hurt afterwards?
Duolingo?
They also have High Valerian.
No,
Yeah.
they do not. On Duolingo?
Yeah. Obviously Klingon.
Obviously.
Yeah, I tried it for like an hour, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, nobody else.
And I was trying to learn Gaelic because.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm Irish. Must learn my heritage. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
We like Americans. We can't learn tonal languages. It's so fucking hard,
Dude.
Like we have to stick to like a Latin.
We're talking
root.
about Chinese, right? How that's
God.
tonal.
Well, you have like Chinese,
Cantonese.
like any of those like Asian accents or
Yeah.
not accents, Asian languages for the most part.
was it which was it? Yeah, it was any of them.
Japanese is the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how you say it, like the tone of it completely changes and I'm like, it's too much.
Our friend Brian was trying to learn. We can call him by name. Our friend Brian was trying to learn Thai, and he was like, I looked for every app, like CD that I can download. Nothing does Thai because like people like can't. Like
It's so
hard to
fast
learn
and
Thai.
choppy. It's just
It's tonal.
that too.
It's a tonal to a degree that like an app literally cannot teach you.
That's what it was. It was Thai because we were at we just saw that movie,
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
We gotta talk about that, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
Not with me. I don't know any Marvel movies.
It's fine.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, to like Thai, he had to like take classes because they were like, they don't make apps for
I
them
had
to learn that.
drag myself to a community college. Oh my god, just to take a language. Did he learn?
No, he's trying. He's like, but it's so fucking hard because like our mouths, like in the English language, Becca would be a perfect person to talk about this with. The English language, we have like certain patterns essentially for like how our tongue moves in our mouth and the sounds that we make. So in like certain like like Asian languages, as well as like a lot of like Nordic languages, like Scandinavian and whatever, like our mouths aren't accustomed to making those like shapes or sounds. So not only do you have to like learn how to do something different with your tongue, like you also have to try and comprehend a language that we're like not even relatively
you have
inundated
to, like,
with.
Be able to hear it, like like the pitch and like where it. I don't know the pitch, whatever.
but
the
yeah.
tones, like
Yeah,
you
it's like
would
the
have to
huh
like
or
be able to
ah.
decipher.
Yeah, and that could mean two different things.
Exactly.
The high pitch and the low pitch.
And
It
I'm
could be
out
the
here-
same word, but
Right, and I'm out here with subtitles. All right, with English.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm a fast reader. Can't get any faster than this.
impossible.
impossible.
Some would say the fastest reader.
I was trying. Okay,
You're the F1 of reading.
You're the
good one.
what's his name?
Pierre Gasly.
Sure.
Sexy.
You're sexy, pure, Gasly.
Oh God.
What's his
Wow.
name? I don't know. Like, say it one more time.
Pure Gasly.
Pierre Gasly.
Pure Gasly.
Pierre.
Pierre. Yeah.
Sorry, you're saying it like pure. Did that sound the same to you?
Do you even watch F1?
No, I
It
don't.
sounded the same.
Pierre.
Pierre.
Okay, well, now you're.
Well,
No, now you
now
hear
you can
it.
hear
That's
it.
the
though.
difference.
No,
Wait,
no.
Pierre.
We.
What? That was.
Pierre. We're not doing Pierre. It's not
Pierre.
Pierre. We just said it the exact same.
You both said it at the same time. But the point is you were not saying it like that. You were rolling it so fast.
Pure.
Pure.
No, we were not saying pure.
That's what it sounded like.
Pierre.
But
Pierre.
Pierre. Gasly.
Pierre.
Yeah.
Pure. It's
Pierre.
not pure.
I
That's
know what it's
that's
not.
that Midwest ear you have.
No, it's you not
Oh, then
enunciating
you
correctly.
would be a perfect person for a news anchor then,
Why?
because all like the Midwestern accent is what most news anchors need to like base their accent off of. Did you know that?
I don't think he has. You don't have one anymore.
I don't think I ever had one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know anybody
I've only known you for like.
I don't know anybody
5
that's ever been
years,
like, wow, you got a
4
real
years.
Midwestern
I
accent.
literally would have no idea.
There's certain words that come out that have that like Chicago flair.
2 words.
There's a couple. One of my clients called me out this afternoon.
Which word?
She was
Chicago.
I said hot dog.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
that.
yeah, okay.
I hear it.
And she was like, I'm like, fuck
I
off.
literally would have never. I would not have picked that
But
up.
like
Yeah.
because like
No,
in the-
because he's yeah.
well, like a Chicago accent. This is my argument. The like Chicago accent doesn't fucking
yeah, I was
exist.
like, I feel like that's like such a.
It's so
it's
movie.
it's such a
television,
stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the only people that have it are like 50-year-old like firefighters or like cops.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that's pretty much
God,
it.
that's so on brand. So on.
Like that, like the I
Yeah. See. Sorry.
What?
See?
Like they're but they don't speak like film noir people. What the fuck is
They
that?
should.
Just some
With a cigar in your mouth.
yeah, some like but the accents in the Midwest are like the ones that are like really pronounced are like Minnesota, and I guess that's kind of really it. Because otherwise, like
I feel like they're the only ones with accents. At this
Minnesota,
point.
Wisconsin has a little bit of one, but like for the most part, otherwise it's kind of like a soft Southern accent. Otherwise, because like most of the Midwest is just fucking grass,
Yeah.
and like cornfields.
But is T-Pain right? Is it Wisconsin?
I'm trying to remember the lyrics to that.
Put you in a mansion?
Yeah, somewhere in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
Genius lyric, honestly. One of the greats.
The best song from T-Pain is "Take Your Shirt Off"
Take your shirt off.
and wave it in the air like a motherfucking helicopter.
Take your shirt off.
Yes. That's a
Listen.
B-side
Oh my
track
God.
that
Oh my
not enough
God.
people know. So hats off to you for knowing it.
All right, I think that's where we can.
and on a high T-Pain note.
Yes.
All right. Sam, anything you want to like shout out or anything you want people to do or note
Yeah,
or
if you're peeing during a lift, I would go see a pelvic floor specialist.
Perfect.
Pelvic floor therapist. It's common, but it's not normal. Thank you. Also, everyone suffers from mental illness. It's okay. Thanks.
destigmatize going to therapy.
Yeah.
Do it. It's good for you.
Yeah, I'm doing my 3rd session next week.
Nice.
Let's go.
And
Good for
she's
you.
literally sitting there having to listen to me. Feels great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Therapy's great. It's if you're into fitness, it's essentially a workout for your emotions in your mind.
Yeah.
Like
Thank
yeah,
you for having me.
yeah, of course.
Thanks
you
for being here.
kind of forced it onto us, but that's fine.
That hurt. That one hurt.
I feel
Well,
like
you-
not a word of
You
affirmation.
ran up to me in the middle of class and went, "When am I going to be on your fucking podcast?" I was like, "Oh, okay."
I feel like I didn't say it that aggressive. I might have,
you
honestly.
stopped me in the middle of what I was doing and was like, "Am I going to be on your fucking podcast?"
So you got that one, and I got. So I want to be on your podcast, and I want to talk about peeing on the platform.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Mine was not
I
aggressive.
had a plan.
So-
I say that in all earnest of like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it.
Like, people want to be here. People want to be with you.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Open invitation for
Yeah.
people that we know, not just random people.
Not just random people. We don't want
Like-
people showing up and be like, I want to be your podcast too. Like, fuck off. Get out of here.
But yeah, no, thanks for coming by. It was awesome. I think it's all good notes to be had. Do therapy.
Yeah.
Do go see a physical
Do
therapist
your
that
kegels, but do it correctly.
specializes in
Figure out which kegels you need.
Yeah, go to pelvic floor specializing physical therapist. Yeah.
Next time I want to talk about Star Wars.
I'm a little rusty.
Okay.
But, all right.
Oh, we talking Star Wars? I've been getting some deep lore. I've been hitting the legends now. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I'm invited back, but hey, listen,
If
I will not be forcing myself. If I am invited the next one, I will wait to be invited like a good girl.
like okay, oh, finally,
Fat pussy gang. All right.
FPG.
All right, Eric, where can people find us?
You can find us in the no split jerk button at another period rep period podcast on our Instagram or another rep podcast at gmail.com.
You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Say
Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.